Welcome to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, gents. Pod 85. Woo! We're getting there. We're closing in on the 100 mark.
Look at this color of this fucking beer.
It smells fantastic.
I love Mother Earth.
Yeah, that's a home run.
Oh, wow. Wow. There's a lot going on with that.
Yeah.
Like, you definitely get that unpasteurized or the unfiltered haze.
Yep.
Like, but it has this,
It's
like...
crisp, too.
What is that, like, fruit? Do you get that? It's like, is it like apricot? What is? Am I tripping? I don't know.
It's not going to say on the can.
I love how crisp.
Doesn't look like it does.
I love how crisp it is.
There's
too.
something at the end of it that takes it, yeah.
It makes it, nice and light on the back end.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy to drink, and it's full of flavor.
6.8.
6.8er.
Mother Earth, Nampa, Idaho, baby, having heavy cloud. This is a fucking one sipper, and I'm already hooked. So I would vote of confidence. Always, Mother Earth is never not delivered.
That's
why they ain't on the shit list, Charlie.
They're not even close. They would start the heaven list.
Yeah, the opposite of the shit list.
Yeah, because when you're hitting on all cylinders, like it's one thing, every brewery can have like a schmeh beer, if you will.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're a shitty brewery, but like when you hit on, I've never pulled a Mother Earth that I was like, okay, that was fair. I've always been like, that's a good beer for what, and it always matches what they say it's gonna fucking be. I appreciate that. Some breweries now just use buzzwords, I think, right? Like call it a hazy and it's just a West Coast and you're like, this isn't terrible, but like this is not what I was expecting in the slightest. Mislabeling, sorry.
No, yeah, this is delicious, and I love the unfilteredness, like we said, the color.
It's orange juice.
Yeah, when I
These
see
are my favorite kind of hazies.
when I see
this is
hazy,
good. This is good.
when I see hazy on like a can or a label or on the bar, symbol.
You don't want to see through it.
This is kind of what I want right here. This color, I love that like unfilteredness of the hazy itself, because then I know I'm getting that exact hazy that I'm the fan of. The mouth feels, the like crispness of it, just everything about
There's
this
a lot of
hazy.
layers to this beer, for sure.
Everything
I
about this
completely
hazy.
And it's going to go fast.
At 6.8, that's dangerous, bro, because I can knock these back for sure. Like, this is just kind of tickling the taste buds just nice enough, right? Like,
Dude.
if you're thirsty.
Well, we were pretty thirsty at the Super Bowl.
Sweet Lord.
I don't know, dude. There was so many.
How many different beers
There were
did we
so
have?
many good beers at the Super Bowl.
all shelled
Everybody
out.
shelled out.
Yeah.
This bad boy we're about to come on to in a little bit. We had that one at the Super Bowl. My wife got us that one. Trev brought this one.
Holy shit, dude. The double hazy IPA from Jester King that I brought
That purple
was fantastic.
can?
Yeah,
Dude,
was
so me
wonderful.
and Josh split the last
Yeah.
one last night of that.
What'd you
That's
think?
a good beer.
That shit's
I didn't get one of those.
Oh, dude, it was I made sure to get one. Josh had one, I stole one, and then somebody must have had a third
Dude,
one.
we had we had the Lost Coast peanut butter milk stout.
Shout
I think
out
I
to
had
that.
two
That's
of
a
those.
solid brew.
They were solid. This red hydrant that we're gonna go over was solid. The IPAs, the red rye. We had the red rye again from
that's
from
what my
Lee
pops
Dog,
brought, yeah.
or not from Pigeon Head.
There you
go. There was also a Lead Dog adaptation ale.
No, Adoption Ale.
Adoption ale. That one was good. It had a dog on it. That one was good.
that was the first one I started with.
It was tasty.
Yeah.
So me and Josh
It was
last
mellow.
night.
It was super mellow.
Did you guys happen to have the one that
The rice lager?
Yeah.
The one that, no, but I heard good reviews. Did you like it? You
I
said
had
you were
drink-
high on it.
Scott gave me a drink of his. My
Okay.
brother Scott
Right.
gave me a drink of
Yeah,
his.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was delicious. There's one more can, and I took it to Josh. We didn't.
You didn't get into that
we
one?
didn't split that
Okay,
one.
okay.
But
Well,
no.
let me know how it is.
Yeah, I thought it was. I remember it being like,
A rice lager.
way different than I was
Yeah, of course.
expecting it to be.
Okay. All right. Well, in a good way, though, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Trevor, you're going to be done with this beer pretty quickly.
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
It's a very good.
We had some shots,
It's a
too.
very good.
What did you serve us up?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we had...
Fuck. So we had Travelers, which is the Chris Stapleton whiskey. We had Uncle Nearest the Rye.
Yep.
And then we had.
There was one more in there, too, yeah. The hell?
There was one more in there.
It was a basic one. Oh, we didn't do basil hate. We didn't do the toast. We talked about it, but we didn't get into it.
Was it the bottle?
I can't remember.
It was Frey. It was probably
Frey Ranch. That's right. The first one was Frey.
It was Frey
Correct.
Ranch with
Good
the
call.
the Nevada Nevada bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that bottle. So I don't like Frey Ranch. I think Frey Ranch rye is good. Regular Frey Ranch is a little too hot. off a shot or whatever, you got to kind of go to the water. We had 2 bitches, maybe 2 bitches is hot, but better on water. But the Frey Ranch, it's the Nevada bottle. If you haven't seen it,
it's clean.
It's the Wolfpack bottle,
it's
dude. That blue label
with
is
the
fucking
gray.
sick.
It's basically like this color scheme, just without the
almost
aqua,
100%.
without the aqua. Yeah,
yeah, almost 100%. It's sick though.
It looks good. It does.
But it's an okay whiskey. That Travelers, I like that Travelers a lot. That Chris Stapleton
I agree.
one.
That's a solid drinker.
And then most ryes are fucking on top of my list anyway. So
I've leaned more into the ryes as you have shown me more of them.
oh, we got a bunch because you've had the Woodford rye that's up top. The Jefferson Ocean rye is elite.
That was
fucking elite.
Well, yeah, it's also $200 a bottle, isn't it, or something like that, like $150 or something. Yeah, it's not a cheap bottle.
Any ryes though smash. What I don't love is like that other Yellowstone is like a. It's like
that's a single.
It's like the PD, like a single malt whiskeys
right.
or whatever. I do not like those. I do not like that like peatiness because I don't drink Scotch, so I don't love that. Like
I've tried several times to get into Scotch.
Dude, I can't do it.
I can't either.
I've tried too. Either. It just doesn't. And then
I've had what they discern as high level scotches before, and I'm still just like,
you don't do the PD.
Don't give me a second glass because I don't want to waste it. If somebody's really gonna pay for this and enjoy this, then like you go that direction.
Is it the peatiness for you?
Sure, overall, which is funny because I like the smokiness in mezcal. So I'll drink a good mezcal that's similar, different but similar. But Scotch is not it for me.
And that's why I don't do the single malt whiskeys. Like, I got that Yellowstone that's up there. The original Yellowstone.
It's a cool bottle.
Good.
It's a cool bottle.
The single malt, dude, I don't know, man. It's just not my flavor of whiskey.
It happens.
Yeah. Sorry, we went on a little whiskey tangent.
Yeah.
So let's get into the Super Bowl, I guess, since we all watched it together. Great times, dude. We had a lot of fucking good food. We had a lot of good drinks. We had a lot of good cigars. But yeah, it was a good time. But game wise,
not a good time unless you were Travis. Yes. Our Eagles fan that was there was running around with his head cut off. Of course he was. He was having himself a good time.
We talked about seeing ghosts earlier. Dude, Patrick Mahomes saw ghosts. Their game plan seemed like shit, which was surprising.
They looked sleepy. They looked so sleepy. They
Three and outs.
They didn't even try to change either. They just went out there and did the same old, which is crazy for an Andy Reid-led offense.
Well, it's because that offensive line was so bad, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, they had rushed 4 all game, not one
blitz. Both of Mahomes' losses can pretty much be attributed, no, he didn't play great, don't get me wrong.
No.
That's part of the reason, though.
Exactly, yeah.
Because even so, we've talked about like people we like listening to on radio. I like listening to Colin because he has really good guests. He brings on the guy from NFL Network once a week, and they break down plays. Greg Cosell.
Oh, nice,
dude. Greg Cosell broke down the sack on third, or the miss of 3rd and 3, and he goes, if the whole line holds up for one more second, were these open for a touchdown? Mahomes can't get it there because he could not. He was already moving. As Worthy was breaking free, Mahomes was already running for his life. Dude, the Eagles front 4 wrecked shop, and we've seen that one other time. When the Giants beat probably the best team that we've seen on paper, that Patriots team was probably Patriots team was probably one of the best teams that we've ever seen in our lives.
The first Brady's last Super Bowl when he was with the Bucs, they absolutely harassed Patrick Mahomes. The best play that Mahomes ever made was an incompletion. That sideways throw is the craziest thing you'll ever see in your fucking life.
He was parallel and threw it 40 yards.
And he dotted Tyreek Hill in the head. It hit him in the head. That's what people forget. Like, it's not like it was just this errant throw that just went out of bounds. Like, it got to the end zone and the receiver had a chance to catch it.
And the defense was just on the field the whole game, so that points just started going up because they couldn't get off the offense couldn't do anything, dude. The time possession was fucking insane.
Yeah, and that's what I think broke it because I was expecting the Kansas City defense to be able to hold them. Spags has been great, but they just couldn't get off the field like you were saying. So eventually, it just was too much.
They let the idea of Jalen Hurts, like, he was truly dual threat that game, and with Saquon on his hip, they weren't able to handle the idea of what the hell was going to happen in that backfield.
Jalen won the game by throwing the ball again.
Well, that too,
MVP
right?
Too.
He had 71 on the ground and a tud. So I mean, his tud was a tush
because
push.
they hung They hung Barkley up. Barkley had what 25
that
23
defense
carries for like 30 yards.
A little bit more than that, I think
he had
like 60.
57,
Yeah,
I think,
it was closer
and still
to
beat
60.
Terrell Davis's season or all-time total for the season.
Yeah, but on 23 carries though too. It wasn't like he was busting.
They weren't going nowhere. They
no,
shut
they
down the
they
run
gave
pretty
him
well.
they gave him a lot of touches, and then you remember we had the prop bet of 14 and a half. And we actually hit that one. That was part of the.
We hit all the prop bets.
Everything, yeah, we hit everything except for calling the Chiefs. Yeah.
Well, dude, and we've seen it.
Sorry, Chuck.
Sorry, Chuck.
I mean,
but we did cash out. We did cash out today.
But that whole defense of line, that's the second time we've seen that much domination when the Giants dominated the Eagles. The Patriots did it, or the Bucks did it more with, I think, a blitz than just the front.
It was
four.
different, but still the pressure was the reason.
But dude, we've seen it now twice. Two defensive lines completely just destroyed that fucking game.
Yeah, correct.
I also feel like a big part of this is when you're so successful like the Chiefs has been, you're playing more games than everybody every season, and I think that just weighs on you.
Sure.
And that's why there hasn't been a team that's three-peat, is because it's just so many games at such a physical sport.
High level.
But Chuck kind of said it earlier, dude. They kind of look like they came out like
eyeballs shut, dude.
Yeah.
They didn't even look like.
That's what I'm saying.
They didn't even look like they were trying to execute any style of game plan.
Travis Kelce looked like shit, dude. He had that drop early on, that big 15 yards.
There was just
that would have get the ball rolling. They could never get the ball rolling.
There was so many plays
point
with Kelce though of him missing blocks or him slow off the line.
Yeah,
it just looked slow. Bad. Watching them,
bad.
and if he's not on the side of the play that was being run to, he's just standing there. He's not doing nothing, and still, even if that play came back his way, he's just standing there. It's just they looked like they didn't have it, and they didn't.
And then offensively, I said that Jalen was going to need to throw the ball, and AJ was going to have a big game. They went and they threw the ball good down the sidelines.
The game was there when they were able to shut down the run, and that was the game.
Dude, it was, because they would be like 3rd and 5. Boom. Here's D. Smith, right? Here's AJ Brown. Boom. Here's Goddard. Here's they hit the passes on every down that they needed to early in the game, and then it just the pick six, and then I think the biggest moment was after the pick six. The fucking Chiefs go 3 and out, game over right there.
No,
if they can go down and score, you get some type of points.
He threw that red zone, picked a bond. The very next, they went up 24. It went 17-24 within 90 seconds.
They went 3 and out right after the pick six, and then gave the ball back to the Eagles. And then,
oh my lord,
yeah, I mean that's. You can't. You got the pick six right there. That's fucking. And then
shout
you go
out
3
Cooper
and out.
DeJean, dude.
Yeah.
What up, Rook? What up, Rook?
Dude, 2 rooks, dude. They got balled out.
Quignon was fucking nasty too.
Dude, and the Eagles, we have said the last 2 drafts, maybe 3 drafts, dude, they have fucking hit home runs.
Roseman's GM right now.
Yeah,
he's walking around with the biggest stick right now, as it were.
Dude, and they all their boys be balling out. Like Jordan Davis balling out.
No.
Jalen Carter, maybe he's the best defensive lineman in the game right now.
And everybody says, well, it's a copycat league, so draft like them. It's like, that's not how that works.
You have to hit home runs.
Well, and you have to draft within the spots that you are and be able to make the calculated swings. And when you do swing, if you give up some picks, you got to nail that prospect.
Look
right?
how many people passed on Jalen Carter because of the I did. I even passed on him. I didn't want him because of the history. And now look at he is balling out.
I'm insanely happy with Spoon. I don't think we missed on our pick at all either. But having Jalen Carter in that middle, especially if we had Byron Murphy this year too, would be insane. But I mean, Pete's a secondary guy, right? That was his last draft, so it does not surprise me that he drafted a cornerback over a D tackle.
Yeah, but
especially with the smoke that was around him.
We took Tyree.
Right.
Which I wanted Christian Gonzalez, but that's another conversation.
Dude, he fell all the way to 19 or 20 that draft. It was insane.
They took him at 10.
Oh, it was 10?
10 or 9.
I felt like he fell further. Anyway.
9 or 10.
Have to double check that.
But a shout out to Philly for getting it done, dude. You just absolutely put boot and ass when it came to history. No three-peat, not even close, not even a sniff. At halftime, the game was...
The conversation is over for at least
a while,
5,
a little
6
bit,
more years.
A little bit. Well, it all depends on how many more he can get in a runoff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But one thing Tom never did was get his ass kicked. Patrick Mahomes got his fucking ass kicked. That's that ain't 40-22. That's fucking 40-7. Those last like 2 touchdowns were garbage.
The worthy touchdowns were super garbage times. It sucks because they were great throws. They were great plays, but you couldn't be excited by them because you're like, dude, who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
there's 3:50 left in the fourth quarter.
That was a fucking ass kicking.
Yeah.
Like that's an ass kicking like we haven't seen in a while in a Super Bowl.
And as much as I don't like the guy, I think you gotta give some props to Sirianni. They've gone over some turnover.
I'll take the
with the coaching staff.
I'll take the miss on that.
To get the Super Bowl win.
Who's going to be their next? Man. Who's going to be their next OC though? That's interesting though. You know, we look at what happened when they lost the last OC before they hit the home run with Kellen. Who Kellen now is the Saints head coach.
That happened this week. Yes,
he took the job. Everybody knew he was getting the job. It was just as soon as he was done, he even flew home. I was like, why do you even fly home? Just stay in fucking New Orleans. Take the job right there, buddy. Go house shopping. But no. Now it's going to be interesting to see who they go get. I don't think hiring within works. I think you need to go get somebody. Hiring within only works if you're like Kyle Shanahan and you're already calling the plays. Or Sean McVay and you're already calling the plays. I think you need to go get a guy. I don't think you bring the wide receiver coach over to be the offense coordinator.
Well, and there was talk about the quarterback's coach, Kellen Moore, taking him.
He did take him.
To be the OC?
Yep.
Is he the OC there?
I don't remember if he's just the quarterback coach because I did see they hired an OC and I don't remember who it was.
But they go way back, so that was probably an upgrade too, I would imagine.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see the Eagles hire. Vic Fangio fucking hit. That's a crush. That's a crushing. He had that defense fucking on all cylinders this year.
God, man, that defense is just going to be just as good, if not better, next season, it looks like.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they got to sign Zach Braun, right? But other than that, look how young that whole fucking defense is. And they probably have money to go get somebody else because Howie Roseman's a fucking home run of a GM.
They have the youngest starting lineup on defense. Think about that.
Look who they've hit home runs on all of them.
Right.
Dean got hurt.
Yeah, correct.
But Nolan Smith played out of his mind towards the end of the year.
I saw this fucking still from the parade that said 21 of the 22 day one starters for the Phillies played in the Super Bowl.
That also helps.
That's fucking awesome. No other team probably even comes close to that. Like,
my defense was completely torn apart by the end of the year.
Everybody's team was murphed at some point, dude. This whole panel had a hard time limping through the fucking season. Yeah, like, I mean, we had a shot towards the end, but like the middle of my season was just injury ridden too. It sucks. Like you have to lessen the percentage of those, or you have to be able to manage them, like the Detroit Lions did all the way up until
Well, then they just couldn't handle.
Right? Yeah, they got mushed on eventually, but
eventually you run out of those dudes.
Handled it pretty well.
Dude, yeah, I agree, but that's what I'm saying.
And
but unfortunately,
that's why both coordinators are gone.
But unfortunately, man, like
exactly
when you get to the playoffs, man, shit's just different in the playoffs, dude. It's just
you're getting everybody's A game, everybody's hyped up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
This is it. Winner go home.
Well, and you
right?
also ran into the juggernaut of the fucking Eagles. Yeah. Which, I mean,
the Lions didn't. They lost to.
The Lions didn't. But yeah, the Lions lost to the.
Not the Rams.
Commanders.
Commanders. That's it. Thank you.
They just. But yeah, but then the Commanders ran into the juggernaut of the Eagles, and the Chiefs ran into this. Dude, if you look at, the
Eagles were on a tear.
We have said that roster is easily the best roster in football the last 2 years. When you look at it up and down the offense, you have one of the best offensive lines. Maybe Detroit's got better.
Clearly, getting Saquon though was like.
He's like. Well, you have a top
missing piece.
You have one of the top running backs. You got 2 elite receivers. Your third and fourth, your tight end is good. And then you look at defense. You have probably the best defensive lineman. You have these up-and-coming edge rushers, along with Sweat, who's a veteran, along with Patrick Graham, who's a veteran.
And you got these up-and-coming defensive backs,
right,
man.
dude? And you've just crushed it. Cooper DeJean and Mitchell are home runs. C.J. Gardner plays like shit in Detroit and comes back to Philly and plays like
gets a chip again.
Yeah, he's good in Philly. He plays like shit somewhere else, and he's good. Slay is on probably the back end of that, but he still plays good.
No, you still want him on the field if you can get him out there.
Right, Braun, you fucking got this guy from special teams, and he's all-pro fucking linebacker, along with Nakobe Dean, who was having a good year until he got hurt.
Right.
But dude, and then you lost Nakobe Dean. That's the one starter you fucking lost.
Right.
And the Niners had Braun before he went to the Eagles, and it's just such a difference it makes from having a solid defensive line in front of him to free him up to be able to make the plays which the Niners didn't have.
Or just also just like, I guess, whether it be coaching or the atmosphere. Exactly.
Coaching
like,
too, man.
Sometimes it takes the perfect storm, as it were, to unlock certain, human beings to their greatest potential. There could be a mix of things that led him to be successful in Philly, right? But that fucking pick that he made when he dove in that red zone was sick as fuck. It was a very, very skilled play that will go down in Super Bowl infamy for sure.
Fucking weak ass fucking Miami Dolphins.
I'm sorry, it's gone.
Weak ass Miami Dolphins. Hella soft, dude. That Vic Fangio, they couldn't handle him.
Vic Fangio just wanted to fuck. Good things.
Vic Fangio
we
just
don't like doing
chip,
good things in Miami. Not emphatically.
All cried about him.
Went up to Philly and said, "Okay, give me some real players, and here you go. Here's your real results."
Literally,
you're welcome.
Literally,
NFL.
they were all. You heard reports every week. Vic's too hard.
But I think it also has a lot to do with, like, dude, if you look,
soft culture.
The vast majority of the players on the Philly defense have played together now for 3 to 4 or 5 years, kind of thing already, and they're only in their second or third year in the pros
need those
together.
Contracts to come up so they can
shell them out. Yeah, for
also,
sure. But the continuity, I think, has a lot to do with how they play off of each other.
Also,
right?
what's it say about like who they got coached by before too? Like
sure, Kirby Smart was coming up in the SEC, and it was.
Well, he's a hell of a D coordinator. Even before the Georgia offenses weren't. When Georgia had no offense when he first got there, those defenses have been elite. So now you're taking elite defensive players from an elite defensive coach, and they know what they're doing, and they're not like, dude, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are fucking awesome in the middle. And then it's just
and they even got good coaching before, because again, we talked about it, the turnover for Philly, they've had a lot of it in the coaching staff. So but all those coaches that they've had have, I think, helped those guys grow and become those guys that they are. And man, it just came together for them this season
quickly, dude.
But look at what Vic Fangio does for like a Jordan Davis. Like, he's been okay since he's been drafted, but then this year he shells out. Like we said, Zach Braun, Nakobe Dean, same way. Like, it's just elite coaching also helps elite playmaking.
Yeah, no, I just think that, and you gotta, Miami, you gotta be able to be coached. All right, seriously, shit doesn't always go good.
Shit today.
Yeah, that's right. We might put the whole Dolphins on the shit now.
Tyreek Hill should be on that list.
I'm just saying though, like,
bringing it in.
That's true. You do ask for a vote every pod.
Might be wrong.
But you got to be able to understand that you're not always the best. And if you got somebody who can challenge you to bring out a little bit more in you, then that's a good thing, right? You don't look at it like, oh, it's too hard. You're a professional fucking athlete, right? This should be the cream of the crop. This is it. We're here. This is the highest level that you get to. Like, don't you want to succeed on that level?
I'd give both testicles to be a professional athlete.
Both. Well, there it is.
I would. Dude, like, that's like what I did for like.
We're gonna call this the Angelique Don't Listen pod.
That's what I did for like 18 years of my life was play sports. Dude, to keep playing it for 18 more years.
I get that.
I get that big paycheck.
I don't even need the big paycheck, dude. I'll be the fucking medium. I'll be the backup catcher, dude. I'll be the backup fucking quarterback.
It would still be
fuck.
I still think that would be a hell of a life to live.
The best position in all of sports is the backup quarterback. Absolutely, because more often than not, the quarterback does stay healthy, right?
More often than not.
Or you play 1 or 2 games, which is fucking cool.
Dude,
so
Chase
you still
Daniels,
get
elite,
dude.
Elite.
His agent needs to go
dude.
Down in infamy because
elite
he
career,
made
bro.
hundreds of millions of dollars, and I don't think he ever started
Chase
more than
Daniels,
like 6 or 7 games.
An elite career, brother, and now he's podcasting, dude. I love listening to him.
He's good.
Actually pretty
He's
smart.
good. I like him.
Dude, elite career, bro. Elite.
Hey, whenever you can soak up millions and hold a clipboard, and they're not expecting too much more than that, gangster at the top of the list.
Before we jump into NBA, let's get a little cheers action.
Yeah, I can't cheers to the Eagles, but to the Chiefs losing.
Destruction of the Chiefs.
We're cheersing to our teams going forward because I ain't cheersing to nothing.
To a new hope.
Just as good as I remember it.
Okay. Little red hydrant brown ale by Big Dogs Brewing.
It's a good brown, dude.
Vegas. So technically in-state.
In-state.
5.6. And that's a brown, yo.
Dude, that's a good brown.
That's a straightforward brown. Like, it's not too roasty. It's not overdone. It's not a porter by any means. I would say that's very consistent with the brown flavor. I wish a little bit more mouthfeel on it for me personally, but good flavor profile. Exactly what I think a brown should be.
It's the old standard brown, if I gotta say.
So, Big Dogs is the first one we've ever featured on the pod. Where'd you find it?
Looks like Bo's on the side of the can.
It does look like Bobo's.
I picked this up at Total Wine.
Yeah, that's where Angela got it too.
Okay. Same with that Mudder Ert.
Yeah, Mud Ert. Both Total Wine.
Little Mud Ert.
Mud Ert.
Mud Ert.
Dude,
What did they say?
you guys know that the dunk contest was last night?
Wait, what?
The dunk contest was last night. Did anybody know that?
What's a dunk contest?
Something we do in the NBA.
Yeah. Oh, what's the NBA?
Dude, can you believe that? I'm not talking shit about the kid. I think he's pretty cool. He's won 3 times in a row. But how in the
First
fuck?
to do that.
He's not even in the NBA, boys. Like,
Oh,
this is
he's
fucking
made-
ridiculous.
I sent that this morning. He's made more in the dunk contest than
Yeah.
he has in the NBA contracts.
Yep.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
But shout out to the Magic, you know?
Also, shout out to the kid for like, hey,
Yeah,
man,
shout out to the
Mac
kid.
McClung.
I don't got
Like,
nothing against the kid.
I
It's just
also
ridiculous.
look
Like,
right there. It says he $442,000 for what NBA and dunk contest. I ain't gonna make that in my lifetime. So shout out to you, Mr. Matt McClung. If you're
Yeah.
getting that in 3 years, like
it just sucks that it's not like NBA players. Like, what happened to the dunk contest
No,
of like
they're-
the '90s and shit? Where even like Kobe's like one of the last like stars to
oh
do
no,
it.
there were several following him because he only did it his rookie year. But
But like LeBron never did it. I'm talking like Jordan was always doing it. Kobe did it twice.
Well, we
3
talking
times.
about
It's
like
just-
no,
Miami.
Kobe only did it once.
only
Kobe
do it
did it
once?
once his rookie year, and he won it. But
Yeah,
they
he won
only
it.
did it
That was
once.
sick. I
They only did it
remember
once.
watching.
The thousands were still nasty, dude. Jay Rich and
Jay
Vince
Rich was-
Carter, and
Vince
there
Carter,
were
man.
some fucking monsters in the
But it's
thousands.
for the last like
10 years plus.
it's
No,
not been
Zach LaVine was the last legit like superstar who could dunk his fucking ass off.
Because you remember
That
Dwight
really
Howard won
did
it? I was like, dude, he's like 8 foot tall.
Yeah,
I'd fucking
that
dunk
was
too
a
if I
dumb
was that
year. That was a
fucking
dumb
tall.
year. But now it's. I used to love All Star Weekend, bro. It used to be great. Like the games used to be competitive as well. Like All Stars wanted to beat each other, not
They
just
gotta-
go around and play a little game of grab ass.
Are you
for
gonna watch
fucking-
this year with the different format?
No,
where you have the
I don't even know
small
what's
teams?
happening. 4 teams of 4 or some shit.
Yeah, and it's like first to like 40 and.
I appreciate them trying to change
do
it
too.
up. It's something new, so I think it'll draw some eyes, but I don't think it's sustainable.
We don't want to watch the big 3 on an NBA. I want to see the stars of the game go out there and play each other.
Yeah, like they used to.
Yes.
That was partially because of also you had Kobe out there who was going 100%.
You had killers.
Chris Paul was out there
you
doing
had
100%.
killers. You had
and
guys
nowadays
that
they're like
you didn't want to
just-
lose
it's
to
a-
the other
it's a
guy.
dunk- it's a
Fuck
dunk-
that other
it's a
guy.
dunk contest. Well, that was before you started having the
No defense.
Well, no. Think about it. When the All Star game went to shit, it's when all these dudes want to start playing with each
Exactly.
other.
No, exactly. It's when the best time for the All-Star game was when the league, every team had like 1 star at least, right? Which was fucking great. So when they all came together, the West was really like, fuck the East. And the East was like, fuck the West. And they played hard. Like, most, like, I remember growing up, All-Star games were somewhere around like the 130. 140 range, which was elevated from the regular season, but not
200.
diabolical. Yeah, where 500 fucking points are being scored because it's just a shooting contest. It's just
It's a dunk contest.
Well, like we were talking
It's
about
just a
with
beauty pageant.
Miami,
It's terrible.
The sport has kind of just gone soft. We got the WNBA going hard, going on one-on-ones. The NBA
1v1, baby.
won't touch that. They won't have their stars in any of these
Get embarrassed.
dunk contests. They don't want to. Yeah, they're too afraid. They're
Well, it's
playing
because
scared.
I don't
it's
think-
because it's a player-driven league. It's not
well,
a team play. It's not a team-driven
Sure,
league.
you're very correct. It is a superstar-driven league, no doubt. I also think when it comes to the one-on-one, they just don't want to have one of their stars get massively embarrassed. It only takes 1 or 2 times.
I would be so into watch
It'd
that.
be
though.
hilarious, though. I love it. I think so too. I think that it would just be metal on metal.
Hey
iron
man, you're
sharpens
playing
iron,
against the best.
baby.
Sometimes you're gonna lose
Yeah,
that.
iron sharpens iron.
I got a question about a star.
Which
Go
one
for
is
it.
that?
What do you guys make of Kevin Durant's career? Now that he's the 8th person to hit like over 30,000 points, what do you make over like? What do you think about his career and like what he is?
I have a very,
We both have personal takes here.
He breaks my heart. Well, he doesn't break my heart. It breaks my heart that he never got to live out his first life in a Seattle uniform because he won Rookie of the Year being drafted 2nd overall behind Greg Oden. And that was the last year in Seattle. So that was, after that, obviously, his OKC years, he's just not, even when he was Batman in the Bay, it's because Steph Curry was there to be the most legit number 2, if you even, or basically 1B, 1A, 49.9%.
It wasn't Batman and Robin. It was
Batman and Batman.
It was Batman and like Flash or Batman and Green Lantern.
Batman and Superman.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Superman. Yeah, no, but Durant is a first ballot Hall of Famer. His accomplishments, he has MVPs, he has chips, he has finals MVPs. Like, his resume is long enough for sure. But honestly,
isn't it kind of disappointing?
Yes. If you're thinking about the guy he should have, he was never the killer. He's never been the killer.
He doesn't want to be the leader. That's what
he's never
worst.
been the killer. That's the problem.
Yeah, that is the problem because he is unguardable. He
can
just get his shot, and that's why he's such a great offensive player.
And not lazy on defense.
And he's not, exactly. But the whole problem of why his good could be great, that separation is just his mentality.
Could you imagine if he had even close to a Kobe or Michael mentality of wanting to be a leader, dude? Think about how good he would be.
I was hoping so hard that when he came over to Golden State that he would just embrace the villain role. If he just embraced it and just...
Soft.
Yeah. Draymond, no problem. He's already a villain. Curry actually embraced it. If he would have just joined in that, they could have just wrecked. It would have been havoc.
Curry was sweeping up rings and making threes everywhere he was going. He was having a great life. Why would Curry mind at all? He's got a supermax.
Exactly.
He's chilling at home.
That's the right attitude. That's what I'm saying.
I know,
dude. It's just so like think about what dude. He's 6'10".
Durant,
he's a killer. He's a sharp shooter. He can do whatever he wants offensively and defensively. He actually does work hard, dude. He went on a Nets team that sucked ass, and he kind of drug him through the playoffs. He's been on a Phoenix team that sucked ass. OKC was good, but look at what they had on that roster, and now he's on and then the only time he's ever been on a team that's been legit as fuck is the Warriors. Every other time he's been on a team where there hasn't been a Steph or Draymond, dude, the teams aren't good because he's not out there being a leader. I understand you might want to just ball, but dude, you not being a leader has taken you away from even being close to a top 5 player.
The fact that him, Harden, and Kyrie couldn't figure something the fuck out, dude, are you kidding me? They barely made the playoffs when the 3 of them played together.
Not Kyrie.
It was Kyrie.
Westbrook. Oh, that
was absolutely Kyrie. The Nets,
I was thinking the Thunder, but the Nets. Yeah,
no, but that's another awesome 3 that just didn't make sense that they couldn't do.
They were matured. They knew they should have known their roles, how to perform it. None of those are killers though. Kyrie's got one of the best first steps in NBA history. He makes motherfuckers look silly to this day.
He has the best handle.
It's so good. He's so good in that aspect, but he's not a killer. Harden is first name on our shit list. I'm not putting any shine on that guy, but he's an offensive force. I can't deny that. Right. At that moment, he was just coming off of MVPs and like all sorts of shit, triple-double seasons. So, I mean, Durant is so underwhelming because he should be top 10 all time, but I don't know if I could argue him maybe even top 20 depending on.
I feel like if he had that killer instinct, if he had that Michael Jordan drive, he would be better than LeBron offensively.
Correct.
I mean, it's a lot of what ifs.
Harder on defense too.
It's a lot of what ifs. But you could make the argument that he would be probably the guy to challenge LeBron's throne for current day.
It would have been so. Yeah. I would have loved to see it.
Yeah, no, Durant is unfortunately off. He's just soft. He's so soft.
Let's get into
soft pod.
Since we are at the All-Star break, let's get into some standings.
Oh, dude, let's go.
Cleveland. We'll start with the East.
Okay.
Cavs winning the East by 5.5 right now, 44-10. Dude, they're just rolling. They're playing good
for
ball.
them. They built the team the right way. They made the one big swing for Mitch, but everybody else has pretty much been a draft pick.
Yep. Boston Celtics are second, 39-16. Then you got New York, it's 36-18. So they're right on the heels.
And all those teams are totally fine right there.
Yep.
Like, I don't think any one of them are going to press anymore. They're just going to kind of maintain that.
Yeah.
And then once the playoffs hit, you'll see some juice.
And then actually the Pacers boys, remember we were kind of disappointed with them
I'm
early
glad
season.
they're making a
Dude, they're at
move.
number 4 now,
Yeah.
guys.
That's a big push from
Halliburton,
where they were.
Halliburton and Siakam.
Well, dude, they should be.
Yeah, I agree.
Miles Turner, Siakam,
There's some
Halliburton.
talent
has
there.
to
There's a
fire.
talent there for sure.
Dude,
there's
could,
a lot of talent.
And then after that, you got the Bucks at 29-24. Dude, they're. And then,
I'm
dude,
disappointed by that team.
Detroit. Cade Cunningham,
Dude,
dude,
what
in the number 6
up?
spot, 29 and
Love that.
26.
I
And they're
love
the
that.
last team that's over 500 in the East.
Trash.
So after that, you have 7, 8, 9, and 10 is Orlando, Atlanta, Miami, and Chicago. Orlando's 27-29. That is ridiculous, dude. There's only 6 teams.
I'm kind of pulling for them to
What was
overtake
crazy?
the
Orlando
Pistons, 'cause
was
I don't
weren't
think the
they?
Pistons are ready.
Wasn't Orlando like
Legit last
yeah,
year.
they were.
They were
No,
the-
this year earlier too. They were like 23 and something. So they've won like 1 out of their last handful of games or some shit.
Yeah, Orlando in the last, hold on,
10 games. Give me the last 10 game split because I know that's on that info.
4 and 6 in the last 10.
Oh, okay, that's not terrible.
But they're probably 4
well,
and 6
it's
in
not
the last
great.
10 games, the last 20 games. So they're
Right.
probably
8 and
yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good. Or 8 and 12.
8 and 12.
8 and 12. My bad. 20. Jesus.
But yeah, and
I
then
know
after
numbers.
that, I don't even care. Philadelphia 20 and 34, dude. Why you shouldn't even be allowed in the playoffs?
What the fuck is wrong with Philly?
They suck. You got fucking Joel Embiid should be on that
They
motherfucking
suck.
list too.
They suck.
Maxi's legit. Trade him off. Get him out of there. Give him
Yeah,
to the
free him.
Send him to the
Free
Pistons to play with
him.
Cade Cunningham, dude.
Free
Fuck that.
him. Well, the trade deadline's gone, so you
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
cut his ass.
Let's get into
Not gonna
a
happen.
more competitive side.
Is it? Who's at number 1?
Oh, we know. The Thunder, bringing the Thunder. 44 and 10. They got an 8-game lead
I don't
up
know
on
why I let you in my house.
8 games.
The only reason why I let you in my house is because you bring me breakfast. If it wasn't for that, like
And beer.
and cigars.
lot
After
of
that,
cigars.
you got Memphis at 36 and 18. So Memphis being at 2, they're playing good.
Bounce back,
yeah,
man.
bounce back year. Well, that just kind of says a lot about like what Ja brings.
Well, I think that team is good. It's just, if Ja just is
superstar, it's a superstar
in,
league.
then
dude.
you're great.
It's a superstar
He's
league.
out.
If you have a top 5 player, you're a top 5 team. It's not like any other sport where you could have a top 5 player and it doesn't necessarily translate to team
Baseball,
wins.
football.
Even football, unless your top 5 player is the quarterback, then you're pretty much winning most games. But if you have a
got
top 5 linebacker,
sidebar.
ooh, sidebar,
Uh-oh.
sidebar.
We're talking about top 5s.
Top
and
fives.
winning. When does Joe Burrow ask for a trade or demand a trade?
I don't think that happens unless they. Okay, I don't expect them to sign Higgins, but they got to sign Hendrickson, and if they keep on,
They haven't signed Chase yet either.
yes, and that's where I think that conversation comes into play is when if they don't re-sign some of their stars, what are we doing in Cincinnati?
I'd be like, here's my phone call. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, Cincinnati Bengals. Hi, this is Zach Downing with the Raiders. I will trade you every single first-round pick for the next 30 years.
What
for
do
Joe
you
Burrow.
need?
Well, and I
What
think
do you need for
Every-
Joey B to
every
come to
first-round pick.
LV?
I'll trade all my first and my second-round picks for the next 10 years. We're not allowed to do that. I'll just keep re-upping. I'll just take your kicker the next year when I can trade.
all the
need a-
draft picks.
You need a Mike Ditka style trade. We need
Yes.
a Ricky
All-
Williams.
Ricky Williams.
All of them.
The most
Do
the
it.
My whole
NFL can
draft.
take.
Do it.
I'll give you my next 2 draft.
The most
all
the
7
NFL can
rounds.
take.
I'll give you 1 through 7 for the next 2 years for Joe Burrow.
So it's
Done
gonna
deal.
come
Cool.
with
Okay. If you don't get
their-
any draft picks, we're good.
with their decision making on
Compensation
how
picks.
they re-sign players in Joe Burrow's current contract. Once his current contract expires, it's going to be a franchise tag. It feels like because he wants that option if they're not going to do it.
Ring, ring. Hello. Hi, this is the Seattle Seahawks. We'll trade every pick for the next 2 years, too.
No,
Hands
no.
up.
Hands up for it. Show me Joey B. Oh my lord! But we have the same problem deficiency that Cincy does. Our offensive line is not top tier.
Dude,
like
Cincinnati, you guys are going
He-
But
They
then
get
our,
taxed
our
and win the game.
our defense is
But you're
significantly
gonna-
limited. We only gave up like an average of like
Yeah,
23
but that's-
points,
that's
so
not the
he
thing.
would have won every game
You're
pretty
gonna,
much.
you're gonna pay the dudes that he wants to play with.
Yeah.
Since he's not.
No,
That's the problem.
Well, no, I don't know.
Let's
what
get back
we're
to the
gonna do.
NBA.
That was-
Uh,
okay, that
Denver,
was a sidebar.
Denver
That's
is
good, that's
third
good.
in the West, 36 and 19. Still balling.
Yeah,
Houston
they're
is
going to be there.
Houston's starting to tumble. They're down to 4 right now at 34 and 21. My Lakers are at 32 and 20, but the last 2 games we've seen exactly what they are. They're either going to make their shots and kick your ass, and if they miss your shots, they're going to be bad because defensively, nothing big. And if Jackson Hayes is our starting center, dude, there are centers that are going to push him around. Utah started 3 centers the other night and absolutely beat the piss out of us inside.
They got length.
Well, it's just
Walker Kessler's out there.
Yeah, it's rebounding. If you're not
Laurie Markkanen's out there.
It's a tough matchup
so
against
underrated.
teams
that
like
guy,
the
that kid is so underrated. Laurie Markkanen's a fucking beast.
We wanted the other kid you said before, but
Walker Kessler.
Yeah, that's who we were like.
He's a fucking 7-footer. He's like 7'1".
But dude, that's the Lakers right now. They're gonna make their shots and they're gonna beat you.
You live by the 3, you die by the 3, as it were, right?
Yeah, but you have nothing. And Jackson Hayes, man, he'd be a great backup center. We did sign that Len from the Kings, but he's just another, I don't know,
body.
Yeah, and then after the Lakers, you got the Clips, the paper clips.
The Clips are
I
here
am too. Very surprised.
I can't. I'm kind of
31 and 23 too. So they're only 2 games behind the Lakers.
No, that's a legit record. It's a nice little record. 8 games over 500.
Fucking Clippers, man.
God.
Right, they're confounding. They're a puzzling team. They won't do anything.
And then
they'll hover right there, and they'll get beaten the first or second round.
So that's
it won't be nothing.
So then at 7, 8, 9, you get the Timberwolves at 7. AE's starting to play a little better.
He needs to turn it the fuck on.
Dallas is completely injured at number 8. Right. Sacramento Kings are probably going to fall out of this, and then you have the Warriors at 10. And they're the last team over 500 at the 10 spot because in Phoenix,
at least that's
because in Phoenix is 26 and 28, dude.
Eat a bag of dicks, Phoenix. What is up with that?
Dude, you have
what is up
I don't
with
know
that?
because Devin Booker's legit too, dude. I thought he played hella good in the USA.
It's
thing.
just not
that
a
team
good
got
pairing.
worse.
It's just
that got worse when they got Durant. Like what happened? They went to the finals
with Devin Booker and Chris
Paul. Yeah,
and well, you had a team.
Yeah,
now you don't have a team.
Oh my
you
lord,
have 2 dudes. Beal never fucking plays.
Oh my lord, he doesn't. No.
And you have Grayson Allen, who's actually a pretty good point guard.
For a long time, he was a shit lister for me.
Yeah,
I think he's worked his way off of that, but I still am not a huge fan of the guy.
No, me neither. But he's actually not a bad person to be like rolling out there.
As long as he's not doing his little cheap little.
I don't think he's done that for a while.
It's been a long while.
Since
sure, but
it's
no,
Duke's fault.
It is Krzyzewski.
I don't know, dude. I love Krzyzewski. I love him. I respect the hell out of him. I think he's awesome.
He's a cold coach, dude. When you hear his interviews, like he just has this demeanor about him that it's like, yeah, I'd love to be coached by this dude. Like
Cooper Flag's fucking unreal, dude.
Oh, it's number 1 lock.
Unreal, dude.
It's the Cooper Flag season right here, basically.
Capture the flag, dude.
I hope that came off the top. If that's ripped, I won't be as excited because that's a great That's a tagline, dude. Capture the flag. That's hilarious.
It's always off top with me, brother. I've been smoking them cigars, drinking them beers. I know T1 wanted to touch on some before I get a little hate out of my heart. I want T1 to want to touch on some NHL snizit.
Oh, dude, this 4 nations
cool.
tournament that they got going on.
Who are the 4 nations?
Okay, obviously USA,
USA.
Canada, Sweden. Who's the last one? Finland? Yeah, that's right.
Correct. Yeah.
USA.
And, I mean, the Kachuk brothers for U.S. been killing it. They did 6-1 against Sweden. Last night, Canada and U.S. played, and there was just fight after fight. I mean,
we holding it down, brother.
The passion, like this is not the
hockey,
NBA.
dude.
This is not some soccer.
Well, and it's also what they call in soccer club versus nation, right? Like your U.S. versus Canada means a lot more than Buffalo versus Toronto.
And that's what
absolutely
the players talk about. It means more. It feels like an Olympic event. You're representing.
I feel like hockey is an Olympic sport.
It is.
Compared to where
basketball is.
Where you're, I don't see it as that because
basketball's so international.
It is, but I just don't see it as that because we dominate basketball so much.
It's also
that I don't see
it's technically a different game as well. The court is a little different.
And I feel like hockey, we have the miracle on ice, but we're not like dominant in hockey.
No.
So like
the
that's
United
why
States from top to bottom, no.
That's why makes it even more entertaining.
And that's why you have more of the like the competitiveness in basketball, dude. Come on, dude. We roll out our basketball team. There's nobody that should be.
So to this point,
ever.
Shout out to the NHL for
doing a great job.
Yeah, taking a look at it and being like, hey, what can we do
love NHL playoffs.
To make some spiciness during the middle of the season, though?
God, I love NHL playoffs.
Shout out. This is good stuff. This is good stuff so
got
far.
2 games on Monday: Canada, Finland, Sweden, U.S.
I'm stoked, dude. I'm stoked. Just that's like my one. It kind of is a bum, not a bum. It does suck, not suck. Well, it does. Hockey's not like my number one sport, and that's the only team that ever fucking wins.
So get into it.
I love playoff hockey. I do try to catch games here and there. I've been putting the NBA on the TV though.
Well, yeah, because the Lakers have been the story recently.
Oh yeah.
Well, just anything. I've been checking out a little whelmed. Him and De'Aaron Fox look sick as fuck.
That team is on the rise.
I watched a little OKC, dude. They just SGA, dude. He's so cool.
He's smooth.
Dude, he's so
MVP.
cool, and he's not a douchebag.
MVP.
He's just so silky
and he's
smooth.
like such a good human too. Like
Fun
he's
to
just
watch.
like not loud. He's never saying nothing. He just does his job, kills
His
it.
teammates
and
are the
goes
loud
away.
ones
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I love it. I fucking.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I know. Sorry, Charlie. I know that
I know.
kicks you in the balls, but dude,
Hey,
that team is sick.
Technically,
And he's sick
he never
as
knew
fuck.
a Sonics jersey. He's literally just ever been a fucking.
Dude, he's-
It was a great trade that they made with the Clippers to get him.
He do watch it.
What a clear like. Sometimes you're like, oh, this is just a guy in a trade, and then all of a sudden, that's the superstar, right? Like,
Well, it
how
has to
crazy
do with
does
the
that
college.
happen?
It has to do with the college basketball game right now. SGA one and done, right? Okay. Well, he wasn't quite developed, so he went to the Clippers, was a bench guy.
Right.
Now he gets
He
a
was.
starting shot with this Clipper or with the
The
Thunder,
Thunder.
but he's now playing games. So he's getting. You think if he played like 3 years, save the football guys. You know why we're so invested in the draft? It's because we watch these dudes for 3 to 4 years do what they do. We can
Even if
become
they
involved with
transfer,
them.
even if they
Correct.
transfer, you still know the name because they have to be around for.
We're-
And if you're going to be a high level NFL athlete,
Dude,
you
you're-
have to be known in
Right.
college.
So
even.
we're following you for years,
correct.
dude. We've been
Yeah,
watching Shador.
always.
We've been watching Travis Hunter. How many years did we watch?
Cam Ward, I watched because
Cam
he
Ward.
was in.
Dude, I think I saw Cam Ward
Cougar, he was in a Cougar jersey for 2 years.
I think I saw
watched
him live.
several times.
I'm pretty sure when the Wolfpack
played
lost to Incarnate Word,
Indiana,
I'm
or-
pretty sure he
Oh,
was the
he was
quarterback
there.
of
He was
Incarnate Word that
Incarnate
year.
Word, yeah.
I'm almost sure of that. So, dude, that's what I'm saying. We get so invested in basketball, you don't know half the fucking dudes that are coming out, and it takes them 3 or 4 years to be good, and then all of a sudden, like you said, SGA now is number one. He's probably the second or third my favorite player to watch behind Joker, and maybe he jumps in front of Steph, and then there's Steph and him. Dude, just the way he plays the game. I love the mid-range shot he's got. I love just the way he takes care of business. Sorry, Charlie.
Not at all. Don't apologize.
So yeah, let's get back
because that's talent over team. That kid could go anywhere.
We
and be silky smooth.
We do talk on this pod about we love greatness. Watching good is
when,
good.
When I was a kid, dude, I hated Jordan. If you
Who
weren't
did it?
if you weren't a Chicago fan, who liked him? Like other than if you were just a casual
How many people
hype beast,
How many
as it
people
were.
hate my boy
Tom Brady.
Kobe?
Oh,
Hella people hate my guy Kobe, right? Because he
I don't.
because you're
I didn't like him. I didn't
Right,
like him.
but it-
I wouldn't say
you're
I
not
ever
a fan,
hated
you're a
Kobe.
hater.
They hate us because they ain't us.
hate because he wears 8. I got jokes and jokes.
I didn't appreciate Kobe, and I'm trying to be better at appreciating greatness as it's happening.
Correct.
Right? Even if I'm bitter that my team's not getting it done.
Yep.
Like
Taking in like the Tom Brady's, the LeBrons. Do we get to
Yes.
see
LeBron will
the Aaron Judges, the Shoheis? Dude, we're getting to see shit right now.
The
that's
NBA is
so fun.
scared because they have no second child behind LeBron. There's a couple of
Yeah,
different
'cause you've
people,
never
but
had-
they have no killers.
Right, because Luca hasn't really taken that
International
next
guys.
step. SGA's
Wemby.
Canada,
Wemby,
Wemby,
man.
like there
He's
is
gonna be it.
He's French,
Right.
but no, I mean, Ja was supposed to be the dude.
Well, we're never in love with anybody. coming out of college.
Ja was supposed to be the dude.
Yeah,
we
but
knew
he's a
LeBron.
fuck up.
We knew
Exactly.
We've known
I
LeBron
know,
since
that's
high
the
school,
problem, right.
You know, and he's been elite when he came in as a rookie. There wasn't like the 4 years that
He was dropping, dude. He averaged 28-5 his first season
Right.
at 19 years old.
That's
dude.
what, but
Get
that's what,
out
but
of
that's
here.
what I'm saying. As a rookie, he was elite.
Yeah,
We don't
he's
see.
never
we
looked
don't see-
back.
we get rookie of the year. Like who's getting rookie of the year? Oh, who is
They're
that
averaging
guy?
12 points,
Yeah.
5 boards. Like, I mean, respectable stats, but not like the leader of the
Right.
team. Whereas
Wemby's-
LeBron came in and took Cleveland to
When-
the finals in like, what, 4 years? 3 or 4 years?
It's Wemby and Luca, and it's like SGA is starting to, but SGA doesn't do anything that like makes him pop because he's silky smooth. He plays in Oklahoma City. He doesn't he doesn't dunk over people.
He's a mid-range guy.
Right, he's
mid-range
not shooting
is not
73s.
Not sexy.
Steph is kind of in the same range.
You're
with
not
LeBron.
sexy. You're just not sexy.
You know,
and
It's great. It's great ball.
but
great
it's not right.
it's not sexy.
But you got to think Zion never did anything.
Sex sells.
Where is the big dude that has come out and exploded that's not Wemby or Luka? Steph is in that same range of age with LeBron, right?
Yeah.
No, the torch has to be passed. Shit, Kevin Durant is up there. Although everybody within that class is starting to be, they're in their mid to late 30s, which
Late 30s.
is when all of that comes to a head. I mean, hell,
AE, I don't know. I think
Dwayne Wade
I don't know how hard.
has been retired now for 5 years, and LeBron is still at it, dude. Like,
I don't know how. Do you guys think AE is a hard worker off the court? Or like is he like the killer off the court where he's putting it all? Because if you're supposed to be the dude, you shouldn't be sitting at fucking 7 or 8 in the playoffs when you're supposed to be like the next dude being like the all-star.
I don't know. I mean, they dumped Towns, right? So they shuffled the roster a little bit this season.
Julius Randle's been a fucking miss and a half.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to work out.
Well, there were times where it was good, and there have been more times where it's been bad. So that is mostly a miss. Which Randle has been he's been a very puzzling player his whole career.
Did we just sidebarred hella far from the NHL?
We're back on the NBA.
I think we covered enough of the NHL. Good.
Hey, shout out to USA. We're gonna win this chip. Let's go.
Boy.
I got one
All
more
right.
bitch before we break for the
I was
second
gonna say,
half.
let's go. Okay.
Alex Bregman signed with the Red Sox. God, I love it because I can hate it so much. I hate the Red Sox, and I hate you, Alex Bregman, you cheater little fuck. I used to really,
Cheater
and you know
little
why
fuck.
I actually think I don't like him as much? Because I actually
You had a
was like,
fandom for him. You were pulling for him, and then you found out
now
he was
he's
a
cheater
cheater.
little fuck.
Cheater little fuck.
So that's my bitch. But I love that he's playing on the Red Sox, because that just like fuels I hate. Dude, you know what? Okay,
Go Downey.
my fucking.
Let him know.
I hate the Red Sox like a lot. That's like my number one hated
Boston
baseball team.
sports is not your favorite.
Dude, and then Grayson plays for the Red Sox, like on a Little League team, and I had to say, go Red Sox, and then he likes that hat. It just like is like a fuck. Every time I say go Red Sox, I was like, what the fuck's coming out of my mouth? What's happening
about
here?
your boy. You can put the pride aside. You have to. I'm sure.
And he wears the Red Sox hat, and he likes it. I'm like, dude, what the fuck's going on here?
Couldn't manipulate that as a
I tried.
parent. You tried.
Right? But dude, if he's going to wear the hat, and that's the hat he wants to wear, it's better than not wearing a hat. So we'll work on it. We're working.
We're hat
working
people
hard.
in this.
We're working hard.
I'm a hat person. Speaking of which, Lids is like 40% off on some of their shit for
I know. I need to get. I need to get a
hit it
Lakers.
up.
I need a Lakers hat. I did get that.
I need
new
to
Nevada
dip my.
hat.
I need to get some more Mariners hats. I love my Mariners
What do you
hats.
think of this
but I need
one?
more.
This one's from. This is Donnie's shop.
Oh, Scotty's. Okay, yeah.
Angelique's brother. Yeah.
No, looks
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah.
Good hat.
Very clean.
Good hat. I'm not a camo guy myself, but
I wear them here and there.
I'm not. I just.
I got my camo Keel hat. I got my camo this hat.
sure.
Local biz.
Yeah, right. No, it's far more about what you're repping than I would
Hell yeah.
suppose the pattern
Walking
as it were.
billboard, as I tell
Sure,
people.
of course. Dude, that's how I feel about, tattoos kind of thing, Like I'm a walking billboard for the artist that put this on me. So do it well.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. All right, we're going to be back for a little review of the NFL season. A little overwhelming, underwhelming, or schmeh.
Yep. Right. We're going to start with the East, and every week for the next 4 weeks, we'll break down a new division or 2 new divisions. We'll always go East, North,
Right,
South,
AFC,
and then West.
NFC.
Yep.
We love our football.
We're winners too. Welcome back to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, gents.
See, look at the color of this fucker too.
Another
See?
haze.
Like
Hazy. Hazy.
This one isn't. This one's more filtered though. You can kind of. It's not
Definitely.
as like juicy.
Ooh, I like it though. Ooh. What is that?
Interesting.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's up, Bells?
Interesting. Hazy Heart IPA.
The can does not give you any kind of wood or anything. It's not like a nice. It's kind of like this plain ass fucking looking can.
Not very appealing.
No wood.
But good beer. It's not
my
making anything
God.
move. No movement.
No, not at all. It's true. It's very. And kind of all bells are that way, but the beer itself is very good.
really
7.5.
Ooh.
They're out of
Ooh-wee.
Comstock, Michigan. Apparently,
It doesn't taste like as you would say a 7.5.
Sure.
Yeah, this reminds me of
But see, it definitely like. If you please zoom in if you have to, but the color of this beer is far more towards like an IPA, a traditional IPA, than that unpasteurized look of the first. This is still a very tasty beer. I won't refute that. I feel like there's some sort of like lemon or citrus.
Yes,
in
I think
it
there's
that
a citrus.
I am
picking up
gathering
on.
like more than just like the regular hop, the bite of the hop.
I think there's definitely a citrus. I don't know if it's lemon, but there's definitely that citrus going down.
yeah. For sure.
It's correct. It's not as like thickums as the first one with how unfiltered it is, but it's still like a good haze.
No, it's very, very drinkable beer. And yeah,
For a 7.8 too.
7.5.
7.5,
Yeah,
oh.
still.
Tasty, love it.
All right.
We're gonna do our up, middle, down for the not video viewers, for you podcasters. We do like to go through that every year. So we're gonna start in the East,
Okay. The NFC.
NFC East. We'll start with Super Bowl champs. Just happens.
We'll just go in order.
Just
of,
happens to be. Just happens to be
divisional.
Super Bowl champs. Eagles obviously way over my expectation. I picked them to still win the division. I had them at that like 9 and like 6, 10 and 7 area. We're now with the extra game. It's not 9 and 6. You know, it's
I
like
hear what
10.
you're saying.
You know, but Nick Sirianni, I've been wrong. He somehow that works. I think it's awful. I think he has a punchable face. But it works in Philadelphia. Maybe I don't understand that city. Obviously, Chucky says they don't smile.
They don't.
So
They didn't when I was
but
there.
above board, they won the motherfucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, I didn't have them. I mean, I had them up there, but I didn't pick them to win the Super Bowl, so I got to give them a thumbs up too.
Well, yeah, they're through the fucking roof. Like I had them back in the Super Bowl, I believe, but I didn't take. Who did I have in the Super Bowl for the NFC? Because I had the Bengals for the AFC. Who did I?
Charlie had the Lions.
I had the Lions. My bad. Okay, so then I was wrong too.
I had
but,
the Packers.
I mean,
Charlie had the Lions. Trev had the Niners. I had Bills. Charlie had the Bengals, and
Yeah.
Trev had the Texans.
So nobody was even close. So Super
Not
Bowl
even
matchup,
close.
right? But I mean, dude, come on.
I was close. I had the
Saquon,
Bills. They got robbed.
Saquon balled,
Fucking robbed.
rewrote some serious history this year. Jalen Hurts was more than passable and very,
Super Bowl
very
MVP?
good in the Super Bowl. Correct? Yes.
Dude,
like,
and that's why when we come to do this quarterback situation, I think I have him at 10, and I think I have him barely beating out Stroud because I think Stroud took a step back, but I do think Jalen does touch my 10. If I really think about it, I think Jalen is number 10. And the people talk. You know what? What is up with people talking about him not being a good pocket passer? We have seen him in 2 Super Bowls, and we have seen him play
Outperformed
excellent.
Patrick Mahomes in both Super Bowls.
Dude, the balls he threw down the sideline, he throws a great sideline ball. A great sideline ball.
Yeah, we're not putting him in the probably top 5, but he's definitely. I think he's a top 10 guy.
I think
great.
I think he touches number 10 exactly. I think he is my 10.
I think even that's a hot take. I think most people are going to have him above 10. Like, we're not going to go into QB rankings right here because that's a sidebar y'all don't want
But
to
you
hear.
agree with what I said though? He's not top 5, but he's top 10 easy.
Top 5 is he's probably he's top 10 easy. Yes, top 10 easy. for me.
Dude, the first 4 are set, and if you don't agree on the first 4, you're fucking insane.
Well, then you don't watch football.
you don't. Yeah, you don't.
You
you
would,
don't watch
however you
football.
put them, the top 4 are set. However you stick them, they're the 4 dudes. After that, we can go 5. We can
Part of
argue
it's
about that.
arguable, but still, he's a little outside of that.
Yeah, he's 10 on my 10. He's 10, number 10.
That's pretty low, but whatever. Overall, okay, so
Gotta do those rankings. And,
I'm gonna break down the offense here real
Yep.
quick for them, and it leaned heavily on Saquon. Obviously, he rewrote the running back books throughout the entire season.
Can we get a cheers for the running backs in general? Him, Jacobs,
Henry,
the
comeback.
Sure.
Come on,
They did. The
we-
running back
we
had a
know
great
that-
year
we
this
know
year.
they're important.
Other than McCaffrey, unfortunately,
Right.
like they had a
Get
do
the
that,
balls.
bro. You gotta that's just a shot.
All right, keep going, Charlie.
I wouldn't know if I call that a shot. That's just the truth. I said unfortunately. I didn't mean it evilly.
Go ahead, Charlie.
We're gonna talk about injured players. Come on.
I saw Trev's balls go
But
up
they-
into his stomach.
There was obviously some smoke in that locker room between him and the receivers because Hurts wasn't necessarily a clean passer this year overall.
Well, they realized that Saquon
Turn
was,
around and hand the ball off, which is totally
was the
fine,
way
and
to
play
go.
insane defense.
When you have
so,
when your offensive line almost they have
6'7", 316 pounds is their average or something. 6'6", 316.
right, but you
or
have
something.
your center Cam Jurgens steps in for Kelsey, but's been playing at other positions because they drafted him to kind of be the backup a couple years ago.
right.
Dude, he comes in, he's elite. Dude, their guard is all pro. They have the best
Mailata.
dude, he is the best tackle in the league. They efficiently, dude, his numbers on the PFF and all that stuff put him as one of the best tackles in the league.
So this year, right?
Yeah,
but
so and then you have Lane Johnson that doesn't give up a sack. He doesn't give up a sack. Dude, their numbers are, their offensive lines, and then you fucking hand the ball off behind that offensive line, and then you have an elite running back that
generational talent that now has the ability to actually
Dude,
realize
with an-
open field. And when
when
gets
he's
there,
not getting touched
he is
until
gone.
Right, when he's not getting touched until he's like one-on-one with a linebacker or one-on-one with a corner or safety. Dude, he jumped over a motherfucking dude backwards.
How that didn't win play of the year, I don't know.
Still moving.
Yeah, he turned around and said, you were like, he only gained 2 yards after that. I was like, that's 6 extra feet after jumping backwards. Like
I didn't, dude.
You did. You said that. You were like, oh, well,
never
only
dogged
2
him.
yards. Yeah, that
Never
was
dogged him
insane,
on that,
though.
Charlie.
That was the absolute craziest play. You can't even do that in Madden.
But yeah, go ahead on the defense there, Trevmon.
I mean,
So
again,
I
we
would-
talked about.
Real quick, I do want to say, so overall, though, that offense is an A. That not A plus because their defense might be an A plus, but that offense is a straight A right across the board.
I think the one thing on offense that they might need maybe would be a number 3 receiver. They're kind of lacking. But that's it, right? But that's it.
What a
You
sad
don't need any
thing.
offensive linemen. You don't need
Lane's
a run.
getting
Lane's
older.
gonna retire. They're gonna need another
You
tackle.
might
Yeah.
bring in
Maybe-
somebody, not the first pick,
Right.
but later to develop behind him.
But other than that, dude, like think how young that offense line is after that.
Well,
dude.
Mekhi Becton is actually up for contract. 'cause he
Correct.
only
So he's
signed
the other
1
guard.
year.
That,
He only
we
signed the
didn't
1
talk
year.
about that, but what a move moving him inside and
To a guard?
getting that production out of him.
that just talks
Because he's a fucking animal. The
that
guy's
just
a
talks about
fucking beast.
coaching,
If you can
dude.
do
It's all about coaching. How the fucking some of these teams just
Schemes,
fuck some of these players,
understanding
dude.
talent. Yeah,
Dude, and I'm one team that probably fucks a lot of players.
bro, your drafts have been terrible.
Jets do it regularly
but, like,
too.
think
That's
of-
just a
think-
perfect
Chicago,
example.
you don't go to Chicago if you want your career to thrive. You
Well,
get buried
yes.
in Chicago.
Think about that. Like he goes from one team to another team, and now plays at a spot where you're
Yeah,
almost
it happens.
almost like an all pro. Not he wasn't almost all pro, but like an all star guard. He played really good at guard.
and reported that was a Sirianni move. So
I'll take my loss on Sirianni. I lost that. I missed that.
I think that it was clearly smart to hold on to him
Yes.
as the guider of the ship.
But think about that. You don't need anybody on offense other than maybe a guard.
All right, give me some defense.
I mean, we already talked about the defense and how young they are,
Right.
and how great they've been. You say maybe A plus. I'm going to give them an A because I think they could get better. Yeah, re-signing Braun would be a big part of that. But even if they don't, there's linebackers in this draft that you can get that would be great in that scheme as well. Really, it would just be the same kind of thing on defense as it is in offense. You might be drafting players to get younger at the positions, like Slay at corner and stuff, but you're not degrading. You're not going down. This defense is one of the best.
Who are you
It's going to
fucking
be one
losing?
of the best.
Who are you losing? You're losing Josh Sweat. Okay, Nolan Smith's right behind him.
not only right behind him, Nolan Smith was probably more beneficial to the team later in the season. So he would probably be the
okay,
starter.
I'll draft somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right? You've been hitting home runs. It's
Let's not just sell that down the river though, because sometimes when you find an amazing off-ball linebacker, you gotta find a way to keep him.
But you can probably sign him. You know who you paying
reasonably. Well, who you paying?
Well, no,
AJ.
But Jalen's
that's such a great contract. They have Jalen Hurts on.
And AJ's on a not a bad contract too.
Tutties and dingers, baby.
Tutties and dingers. I brought up the receiver earlier because that's who I actually had them taking at one point. I have him at 32 taking Trey Harris just to add depth to that receiving core.
Okay.
Just because
to make it even more scary.
The Eagles are the one team where you're picking best person on board.
Unless there's just that like linebacker, right?
Dude,
there.
I had Jahad Campbell from Alabama going earlier, and then my Jalen Walker's my new kind of in love person from Georgia. And unless they trade, dude, he's fucking elite, dude. He's not falling out of top 10.
I like that pick though, because like we talked about them not meeting much. If you got a difference maker at that position, that would make that offense just so much more unstoppable.
It is insane to think that they're
not going anywhere.
And there's been an unreached ceiling because technically the guys who just got it done are within 2 to 3 years of we're talking just babies in the NFL. Just won the Super Bowl.
You literally have you have one of the best corners in the league right now. With
this wasn't a legacy team. This is a team that, if you think about it, is probably a little ahead of schedule.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. They're not losing anybody yet. Your Carters aren't leaving. Your Davises aren't leaving. Your Cooper DeJeans aren't leaving.
The big contracts don't have to be had just yet.
When you come down to pay that road's going to be pretty fucking expensive because you got some fucking stuff.
No, you got some choices you're going to have to make.
But dude, you got a couple seasons to let this fucking road go.
They can keep the band together for at least 2 more years, which is insane.
And your
in the
GM
NFL.
has been fucking killing it.
So if you can buffer behind those guys, knowing that they're probably out the door, that's what you do.
We were just talking about the Chiefs with the chance to three-peat. The Eagles look like they could be that team.
Speaking
to be that team as
of
well.
Another team that their window is wide the fuck open is number 2 exactly in this NFC East. Jaden Daniels was insane.
Fire.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. As through the roof, thumbs up, dude. Like,
I had the Commanders in second, but I did not have them making the playoffs.
He's insane.
Damn. I didn't. I had the fucking Cowboys.
Nah.
I know I had the Commanders in third.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was. I thought we all had the Commanders in third because I said the Commanders are close.
I had the Commanders in
I
third.
said the Commanders are closer to the Cowboys and Eagles than the Commanders are closer than the Giants.
You might be right. You're probably right.
I think that I just give it an A+ and coaching staff.
How couldn't you? You got to the NFC Championship game.
You didn't lose Cliff.
And you have so much cap space to bring in somebody like Myles Garrett if you wanted.
Which is why Cliff stayed. He probably
Why not, dude?
Right, exactly.
Why not just hang out and coach this generational quarterback?
Do you want to know why? Because he's still getting paid by Arizona. He's still double dipping. I think he's at the end of that buyout. Which is insane.
Sometimes if you're Spags, if you're Cliff, why not just do your best thing in the world and just be happy as fuck? Let somebody else worry about all the other bullshit.
Dude, 2 men are necessary, all right? Pippen was necessary for Michael to happen.
Right, because D. Quinn obviously is elite at what he does defensively, right? So then you're like, dude, I'm Cliff. I'm making $3 million. I'm banging hot. I was had this really hot fucking girlfriend or wife. She's smoking hot. Dude, I had this sick house in Arizona. We saw it on the draft. So you made bank off that. Now I'm coaching Jaden Daniels. This dude's fucking elite. This is pretty cool. How far can I go in a couple more drafts? Literally, this team is ready to fucking fly off the hook. You got T. McLaurin, who's maybe the most underrated NFL player in history.
Wow, that's a
history,
dude. He is very underrated. Look what he does. No, he is. So
he gets
lost.
a grand with anybody.
I love me some Scary Terry.
He gets a grand with it. His hands are insane.
And
his body presence,
and that goes
he
along
just
with
gets
it.
buried
Remember,
in a shit roster.
I'm a Tim Brown fan, and I think he's super underrated. Dude, Terry McLaurin does
not get the respect on his name that he
maybe
should.
not the
I
most.
don't disagree with that.
So then, and you're way ahead of schedule, dude. They can if they could get. Think if they have the sign the kid, the guard Nate Smith from the Chiefs, the number 1 free agent. Think if they get somebody like that in there.
That brings me to the offensive breakdown, which is that Jaden Daniels obviously was Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
So clean.
Brian Robinson was good when he needed to be. Austin Eckler had some great plays in the playoffs.
Great one too.
Yeah, he really
he
went a little ghost. He went a little ghost, but when he popped pretty damn well.
But he's a nice number 2 or 3 person, right? He's not taking the bangs that Robinson's taking, so he's a nice number 2, 3.
And he knows the game.
Correct.
He knows the game. He can slip out of the backfield when he needs to. He's got great hands. Like Austin Eckler's a wonderful running back, and it was cool to see him have a good year out there.
That's why he's a great 2 or 3 dude. And
you mentioned it, Scary Terry. Zach Ertz was awesome for that offense. Shout out to him.
Welcome back, ZE.
Yeah, he had himself a good season this year. Overall, they definitely need to get they need to get younger on the defensive line. They need to get better on the offensive line, and they could still use some secondary too.
Dude,
I guess you'll talk defense, but offense, I think they need trenches and a wide receiver. But besides Scary Terry, they got a handful of other dudes.
With the cap room,
they moved on from Dotson.
The Brown
kid,
the Brown kid stepped
Kwame
up.
Brown, or not Kwame Brown. It was
Kiami.
Kiami. I know it was close. Kiami Brown. Kwame Brown was the failed experiment.
He's great, especially if he could become your number 3 and having that cap space. If they can pull
they picked up Noah Brown, right? That was kind of that weird floater guy that they had from the Texans.
Because
Noah Brown
free agent again, too.
That would make sense.
But
they need another wide receiver behind Scary, and they need a tackle. Anybody can use a tackle, though.
Sure,
but
not a lot of.
But here's the thing. You're not questioning your quarterback, and that is a feeling most franchises can't.
You probably use another running back, and this draft's perfect to get.
Whatever. No, you can throw a dart. You can always throw a dart at RB
to get the running mate with Brian Robertson, and to make Eckler that 3 down, the third down back. Where he's a lead at third down. He's a great third down back. He's amazing third down back at this point in his career.
Because he can still pass block too.
Correct.
He's a smaller dude, but he's got great pass blocking
skills.
He
understands the zone. He understands how to run into zones.
He's a vet.
Yeah.
The guy isn't anywhere near as explosive.
Talk a little Commanders deep.
All right, so the defense obviously needs a lot. The D line is good but old. Bringing in Lattimore helped, but still the other corner and safety positions and linebacker positions could all use some.
And then Forbes have not been.
Well, they traded the dude they got a couple years ago, Forbes.
They traded Emmanuel Forbes?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's on the Rams.
Oh, fuck. Okay, there I am on the Commander's D. Keep going, money.
I'm pretty sure. I follow these. Dude, I've been so draft savvy.
All right.
For the D though, I mean, there's so many different directions they can go. Obviously, with the money to spend with that cap space, you're going to try and get those big free agents, so that will kind of shape what their draft or what direction they go in the draft.
100%.
They should swing for Myles Garrett.
They should.
They should. Why not? Unless it's so out of the
I don't think it's going to be. He's over 30, so for a player of his caliber, it's 2 firsts would be the high.
I think you'd have to give this year's, especially where they're drafting at 2-9.
Yeah, that would be the thing.
You're gonna have to give this year's first and next year's first because you're also on the upswing, just like you said.
But no, he's saying which means a swap.
There's not going to be
but
they're not going to be 3 first-round picks.
No, it'll be this year and next year's.
A desperate team might throw in that third one. A desperate team.
I don't think so.
Technically, it's only a
you don't see that. And nobody has 2 first rounds this year,
right?
Which is crazy, right? As of this point, right? Because nobody has 2 first-round picks this year, which hasn't happened in fucking who knows how long.
That's true. Quite a few years. There's been most drafts
with the quarterbacks. Well, I guess Washington doesn't need a quarterback, but your picks could be more valuable next year because of the quarterbacks.
100%. I had them taking. So they're behind the Lions, right, in the draft. I got the Lions taking Mike Green, the fucking stud from Marshall. And I have them taking a receiver to pair with. Give offensive thing because the tackles aren't elite. They're okay. There's not like the elite tackle group where you're going to see.
Why are we talking about the Lions?
Because I have I have the Commanders taken. I said I have the Lions taking the edge before. So you're missing on the edge.
Gotcha.
Because the Lions are
The
taking.
Lions need another edge.
So you take the next best player as your receiver. I got going Golden, the kid from Texas, an elite weapon.
Okay.
That's kind of where I see him projected late first round.
Yeah, and I just think that you're kind of in that spot where
how happy would that kid be? If you get drafted to a team that's got a quarterback, you have to be stoked on that.
And since the tackles aren't like crazy great in this draft, I think that they go the good receiver over like a tackle, maybe grab a tackle, guard. But that also is predicated on free agency. They go receiver in free agency. They don't need to take Golden here.
So this will be a fun one. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3, Cowboys.
Yeah,
that's number 3.
Well, I don't know.
No, you guys. We
kind of projected them to be bad.
I was higher.
Well, we did have them at 2, so
still down.
They
were worse than we thought. Well, that's partially because of the Dak injury.
They were just shit. No, but even
if
outside
Dak's
of
healthy,
that,
they're better.
you're
expecting Dak to be healthy.
Yeah, no,
they get 7-8 wins with Dak. Right where I said they would. They would have had 2 couple more, but that's where I said they would.
Schmeh.
That's where I had them. So it's the Dak injury, but they still finished.
Yeah, and they looked bad most of the season, even in their wins.
I don't know. I thought they played hard at the end of the year with how beat up that roster was. That was another roster.
I guess I can appreciate that take, but no, dude, the Cowboys offensively, what's there really to write home about? You got CD, right? Yeah,
that it.
And you got to find a running back.
Dude, your whole line's fucking
offensive line.
Yeah.
So another wide receiver.
You have Guyton. You took Guyton from Oklahoma.
They put him on the bench, brought him back, put him on the bench. He was not good last year. You're hoping that he blossoms, but he was not it last year.
Well, you signed that stud of a coach.
Ooh, oh my God, that is an F-, dude. Brian Schottenheimer is not fit to be a head coach in this fucking league, dude. He wasn't even a good offensive coordinator.
Do you think the Cowboys will finish 3rd or 4th next season?
4th.
It depends on if New York can get a quarterback.
I think
the Giants do swing for Stafford or whatever. There's been whispers about some different things
for them because then
I don't think LA's gonna let him go. No
way. Right. No, well, you don't think so?
I don't know. I think
they're competing, and he's the reason on offense other than Puka.
Somebody's got to get it to him.
But Mr. Dart, we might be sitting there. But there's always that worry, just like with the Raiders. There's always that worry. What happens if he's not fucking sitting there? Fuckers.
Right. Fuckers.
Fuckers.
You're supposed to have panic.
Cowboys got just fucking holes all over the
everywhere.
Joint, man.
No, defense is depressing. Go for it.
You think they got to go Genty if he's still there on the board?
Yes.
Dude, RBs, that team.
That'd be a big difference maker on that offense.
Dak is a better player with play action in his pocket. Clearly, that offense clicks.
It's a home run, dude. Yeah. Dak is a play action quarterback. Yeah. Kirk Cousins is a play action quarterback. They need the run game, and they do a really good job at doing the play action.
But they can also facilitate in other directions.
Correct.
But you have to have the threat of the play action.
The play action has to be. And dude, when you have
it is the cornerstone of Dak Prescott.
100%. Charlie, couldn't agree more. I haven't taken Genty, and I'm not moving it off that pick.
If he's there,
you have him going to the Cowboys every time.
There's a couple picks that I have that I've not moved every time I've done a thing. If he's there, dude, it's got to be the pick, right? Dude, you got to.
I think it has to be. If he's still there, you take him. Cowboys. If you don't, everyone's gonna look at you side-eyed.
You have to take him, dude. Chuck is 100% right.
What did the league just prove? We just took a cheers to running backs having a resurgence. You get the potential best one. Yeah, you need it. You have nothing.
Especially for the price that they're getting paid.
Dude, and there's other teams that need to do the other things. Like when we talk about the Seahawks, we're going to talk about you got to build the line because they have 2 great running backs. We talk about the Niners. They need a running back because that's the way Kyle Shannon's offense talks about. When you talk about the Raiders, you need a running back to protect maybe Sam Darnold or Shedeur. Every team we're going to talk about has to do with a fucking running back.
I love your takes.
Fuck, love it.
You're so wild because none of those have any smoke behind it at all. We don't know if Shadeur's going to make it to 6. You have no idea if Darnold's going to sign with the Raiders.
Loving you, brother, but you need to take an offensive lineman for your running backs, right, Charlie?
Yeah, of course. Okay. No, you need trenches. If no matter where you draft from 1 to 32, if you take trenches, I'm never mad. As long as you get the pick right. Side bar. Go for it.
I'm sorry to just throw this in there, but you brought up Darnold, and it just makes me think We haven't really touched on Aaron Rodgers being released from the Jets. And
I have lots of thoughts on this. Let's wait to get on
You
this.
wanna hold on this?
Till we get to our fandom.
Okay.
Let's hold on this. All right. So the defense, Cowboys.
Michael Parsons.
He is
but
the
he was
defense.
Next.
I wish you'd be.
Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah,
But
Diggs is all right.
He took us. Dude, they both took a step back this year. Bad.
They kind of missed on
they're-
that.
they're that boomer
tackle
bust.
from Michigan.
Mozzie Smith.
Yes,
he's good, not great.
They need to get better there.
There's holes. That whole
holes.
team holes everywhere.
Running
so.
back, any part of the offensive line, any part of the defensive line.
Linebackers.
Who's the new DC?
I don't know who they signed.
Exactly.
I don't
Who
even
the
care.
fuck cares? No, it doesn't
That
matter
team's gonna
because
be awful.
Brian Schottenheimer doesn't have anybody he's going to bring with him.
That team's gonna be
You
awful.
elevated the bottom of the barrel and expected him to have a team with him?
Yeah, you fucked up.
Yeah,
Cowboys.
no,
should've kept
Jerry
Mike
just
McCarthy.
wanted a puppet. Jerry wanted a
should've
puppet,
just kept Mike
and he got
McCarthy.
one. He got a yes man,
Yes,
and
he
not a
did.
no man.
Yes.
Feels
he
like the Cowboy fans are rooting for Jerry's death at this point.
I would.
And,
Free the
and
team.
obviously,
Free the
dude,
team.
The Giants,
Free
we
the
were
team.
all low on the Giants, but dude, they were still underwhelming overall.
It's
dude.
the quarterback
It was
position.
worse than
They
I
were
thought. Even
terrible. Yeah, I had them. I think third in the division.
I gave that coaching staff a
No, I
little too
didn't. I had
much
them
credit.
fourth. I
Their
had them
defense,
last, but-
their defense is right there. Their defense line's right there.
Is
yes,
they're the
got a
best
couple
part of
nice
that
pieces,
line, or
for
yeah,
sure.
Thibodeau got just traded there, or not drafted. I'm
But you
sorry,
got-
it was Burns that got traded
got,
there.
you got
Lawrence,
Nick-
that's three nasty motherfuckers
You do have,
right there.
I think your
Yes.
defense line's. But Charlie, let's touch on the offense real quick.
Oh, you're right. No, what's to write home about? They literally had Malik Neighbors come in, and
He looked good, but you just didn't have the
You have to be able to
personnel
facilitate.
to make it work with him.
you have to facilitate to a
need
wide
better
receiver.
blocking for him, better quarterback to
That
get him
Tracy
the ball.
Jr., he ran hard for a handful of games. He could be something.
He's a
Devin Singletary.
you need
came in
another
and did
piece.
Diddly
You need-
do. He didn't. He wasn't a free agent signing at all. And obviously, they cut and released Daniel Jones halfway through the season.
That was
and then
stupid.
Drew Lock and Danny DeVito fucking went out there. Tommy DeVito.
They're either signing.
Fucking Frank was out there.
If they,
slinging
Always
fucking
sunny, baby.
slinging dingers,
Tutties.
if they don't,
tutties and dingers.
if they don't, if they don't sign a free agent,
Quarterback, they're in trouble.
They're
They're in
taking shit.
so
Well,
trouble.
no.
They're already eating a shit.
they're
sandwich.
taking
Well-
they're taking one or signing one, whether it's
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins,
Exactly.
Aaron Rodgers. If
So
they
that
trade for
is-
Matt Stafford,
that is the
Darnold's not-
opening to-
we know Darnold's not going there. There's 3 teams Darnold's going to. He's going to the Titans. He's staying with the Vikings, or he's going to the Raiders. Those are
I
the
can't
only 3
see him
teams.
staying with the Vikings.
Those
The
are-
Vikings aren't going to want him. He's going to want the Vikings. The Vikings are not going to want
But
him.
those are the only 3, right? He's not going to the New York teams,
I-
and both of them
I
need a
would-
Well,
quarterback.
he's not going to the Jets.
wouldn't
He's
think
not
the New
going
York
back
team-
to
I
the
don't think
Jets.
he'd even go to the Giants. I
Why
think
would
he'd
he?
be
At
out
this
on
point,
them.
I wouldn't want to go back to New York.
Right.
Well,
So
that
then-
roster's trash.
So then, like
that
that
roster,
Titans, Raiders, or
that Titans
Stays.
is.
I don't think he goes to the Browns because they're not going to pay because they already have Deshaun on the contract.
Okay,
I mean, kind of left
so
field, but Colts?
I love that take, but I don't like it because he's not going to the Raiders.
wow,
Trev, let's
Mr.
talk.
Non-objective. This is not the fucking fandom yet. Okay,
Let's talk about the defense,
Giants?
Trev.
Oh, the Giant defense of the
Giants.
Cowboys?
Giants.
No, yeah, we kind of covered it.
Yeah, we
already.
covered the Cowboys,
they-
So I have them taking Shador because free agency hasn't happened. If free agency happens or they trade for Stafford, I'll change my pick. I think they are taking whether it's Cam or Shador.
I don't-
they're
If a
taking
quarter,
one.
yeah, one of the Ward or Shador, if they're there, they pick them. No questions asked.
You know what I would love? Nothing more than a Giants 2.0 off-season Hard Knocks. Dude, get us back to some fucking
That dude
right
should have
now.
been fired.
Joe Shane's not exactly. So I want to know I want to be a fly on the wall for this season too. Could you imagine?
I really
the
hope-
war room.
I mean, I'd love to see that, but
You would
any
never
team
sign off on
like
that
another
ever again.
Never done. One
another
and done.
Hard Knocks like they did.
They're never
in the
going to do that
offseason.
again.
Please.
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen in
Teams
my
are
life.
going to be so scared to do that off-season one.
It was
damn. That would be.
Teams are going to be
if
so
there's
scared.
another team.
You know
I
the
haven't
feeling.
heard an announcement.
You know the feeling when
they don't want to do
the
that
trashy audience gets to watch 90 Day Fiance and they get the outcome they want. That's what I felt like watching Hard Knocks for the Giants, dude. Like I was so locked in. Like, oh my god, it was so.
Why would any team want to sign up for that?
Never. No, I burned it down to the ground because that Saquon storyline will live in infamy. It's the
No team's ever going to want to sign up
It's
for
the
that.
exclamation point on all of it because you watched it unfold. They showed it to the world.
Yeah.
Saquon, they show Shane on the phone with Saquon. He didn't know he was being recorded. Like they had to get that. Oh my lord!
Anyways, for the Giants
was a
defense,
side-
probably a
everything.
linebacker or a defensive back.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Aggressively on those two ends of
If they don't, if that quarterback isn't there.
Yeah, I
Like
think so.
Hunter's the obvious pick if he's still on the board
Well,
and the quarterbacks
it's
are
either
off.
Hunter or Abdul Carter, depending
Yeah,
on if the
Abdul
quarterback's
Carter
on.
and Hunter are those guys that if you're not picking a quarterback, you're picking one of them.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of which, Downey, we have the AFC. Your boy, right? We were both high on the Bills going in, so we're gonna hit the AFC East now.
Well,
obviously,
I'm still a little butthurt.
of course you are.
A sidebar.
That didn't take long.
I don't wear jerseys.
But you wear a JA jersey, maybe once.
I would. My
Okay.
question to you guys is,
Okay.
it's maybe since I've never had that quarterback, I still don't have that quarterback. Is there ever a player that's on another team? Like like you guys know, I'm like Chuck gives me shit about it all the time. I'm more like some of my stuff. I'm more like player. I love SGA. I love D-Mitch. Like, do you guys ever put another jersey on?
Not even close.
I love other players, but I am not putting another team's jersey on no matter how much I love that player.
Not a shot. That
Josh,
goes against everything I believe in sports.
Josh Allen, I think, would be the one.
Nope.
You
thing
consider?
I'd be the one I would consider, and I wouldn't never do it for for anybody else. And I love baseball, so there's a lot of baseball players.
So what's the
Champion.
tipping point? Does he need to make the Super Bowl for you to pull that trigger and get that jersey?
it's just the other team, so I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, it's tough.
If Grayson
Big
would, I'd
ask.
be like, dude, that's sick because now you can be a Bills fan and root for Josh Allen all the time, and I can
I love
side
that.
kind of root for you, but I don't know if I can ever do it.
fandom through your child.
I don't ever know if I can do it.
Even
But
though I can't
yeah, dude.
I can't even wear another team's hat, even if I just like the hat.
right,
Like,
right. I mean, either
want
or the color.
the San Diego Padres hat with the swinging
the
monk
I want
is
the
like
Brewers hat.
the mitt is iconic. I can
The yellow
understand
blue
you
one?
wanting that for sure. That thing's legit. It's a great hat. But I can't. If I can't even do that, there's no fucking way I'm putting the name of somebody on my chest or on my back that I can't.
that's why it was a sidebar.
No,
It was a
that's
sidebar.
But
It
I
would be
mean-
the one. It would be the one.
What
He's
do
the
you-
one that maybe pushed it. I think he's my.
Well, maybe you go JA Wyoming jersey.
Ooh, that'd be sick. A little throwback.
You could probably you could snag one.
That'd
of
be
those.
even better
You
than
could
rock.
It'd be a
That'd
rap,
be
but you could get
but
a
then,
rap.
but
of
then,
that. You
but
could get
then
a
I'm
rap of
going.
that.
But then I'm Nevada, so I'm kind of hating in the same division. So that's kind of. But that Wyoming shit, dude, get that yellow one.
Ugh, don't get that yellow.
That's clean.
Oh no!
Rather
Yellow
over the
and brown
brown?
is bad enough, but when it's all yellow with accents of brown versus all brown with accents of
Dude,
yellow,
I love being Wyoming in
Hey,
NCAA 14.
it's-
Well,
Well,
come join us in 25, baby.
God, let's go! I got a game after
I'm
this.
playing-
Let's fucking go,
I'm
Downey.
playing Borderlands, man. It's sick.
Okay, well,
All right.
You touch
Back
on the
to
offense.
the
the
AFC East. Yes, so obviously,
I still think I had them win the Super Bowl, so I'm medium. I still think that they're. I
I'm
still
up.
think
They overperformed for me. I was hesitant because of the skill positions, and JA just like, nah, it doesn't matter. I got this.
which is why
When did they move
One
on
of
from
his best seasons that he's had.
When did they
MVP?
move on from Sean McDermott?
But yeah, MVP.
hold on. We're not going to sidebar with it. Look,
We're still in the Bills.
We are
That's just a
correct.
question.
What I want to tell you is that the offense obviously ran through the lifeblood of Josh Allen, who is the league MVP. So you can't understate that.
And Brady's back, so you can see
however,
that success continuing, and they're going to add something at that wide receiver.
James
Hopefully.
Cook was
But he's already scrubbed his Instagram.
Oh, well, okay. So then I guess moving forward, he will not be there.
A lot of good running backs in this draft, though.
He's kind of mad right now.
But for this year, we're reviewing this year, right? As of the current moment.
Stud.
Absolutely. He lit it up. He unlocked that offense because
But they finally drafted offensive line.
Right.
They, like, did something there, too. Like,
Coleman was good for a rookie. Good, not great. They made that trade for Amari Cooper, which is good, not great. Like
Von Miller isn't the same guy. They need another pass rusher.
Agreed.
That's probably their first pick.
that's the reason that I actually have
Ed
them.
Oliver's legit, but they need an edge.
I have them taking pass rusher, but I also think that your boy, Nick, something from South Carolina,
Oh,
the safety,
Murray.
he could be the safety because they need that position too.
I love that safety, man.
That's Trez Bone right now.
It is. I wasn't looking at safety because my team doesn't. It's not like a
Do we
top
know
need,
how
but
they are on
in
cap?
the top value.
The Bills?
I don't
Yeah.
know where they are right now.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, the
Could
only
you swing
person
on
they're
Myles
paying, the only person they have to be paying, it would be JA because he's got his deal,
And
then
Ed, right? They signed Ed Oliver.
They did, that's right, which are two good investments. And
Is
then Miller is soaking up a decent
What about
amount of cap, so
what
he'll
about
probably be gone.
Milano? Is he? But dude, he's such a good
Middle
linebacker when he's on the court. but he's not-
linebackers never even soak up that much. There's not 20 mil at absolute most. And for a guy who runs your defense, I know that sounds outlandish, but when you're paying a wide receiver 30, you can't pay the green dot 20. You know what I mean?
Okay,
That's how I look at it.
I just looked up over the cap numbers. The Bills are the third worst. It's the Saints, the Browns, and then the Bills
Wow,
for the
so
worst
they're-
salary
they're
cap.
in danger.
They are
Okay.
not in good shape there.
So that means you're
How
probably
much
not bringing
do
on
they need to
Myles
dump?
Garrett.
How much do they need to dump? Let's see.
They're over 14 million.
Oh, so then you know who's shortly
Vaughn.
behind them is the Seahawks. Look
You got
at
Von
that,
Miller
dude.
needs to be dumped then.
That's
Yeah,
what we're looking
dude.
I have them
Oh
taking.
my
I
lord,
haven't-
I'm still 13 over. What? See, because it's insane. Because when you ask me who I'm paying, I don't know. I mean, DK's got an okay contract. Gino's got a relatively friendly contract. Outside of that,
I think
who
it's
are
a
we
lot of
paying?
that defense and DK. I think you're paying.
Julian Love, we gave some good money to, but like we don't have. It's crazy. We don't have the big splash, and we're still well over. Well, yeah, because you've been,
That's why
swallowing wangs for.
Sammy Darnold wearing that jersey next year in the silver and black.
Would you like that?
I don't know. I really want to ask you guys
Well,
about
you're
that.
dancing about
I
it.
really want to ask you about that.
Okay.
when we
Who's
play
your
Phantom.
OC now?
Chip Kelly. I had him taking the.
Carroll and Chip Kelly, dude.
crazy.
Don't wink at
love
me.
it.
I swear to God, dude. One of these, I'm gonna reach behind you, Trev, and punch this kid right in the fucking eyeball.
Trout.
I have
No,
him taking the
I'm gonna
DN.
hit that fucking.
I have him
DN.
taking the DN from Texas A&M. Shermer Stewart, the elite. He's got that body type that's like he didn't. His numbers don't say much, but he has that body type that should be
NFL ready.
NFL ready. He had a great Senior Bowl. He's huge. I also think that safety's in play, but I think they're all defense on this. You need.
Really?
Maybe second round and you can work a wide receiver or another
Okay.
back end. I think the first round you need to get a defensive player because your Milano is always getting hurt. You need Ed Oliver needs somebody else to go with.
A running mate.
Yes.
I agree. If they sign a receiver, if you don't sign a top free agent wide receiver, that's got to be one of the top picks for that team. I feel like.
I just feel like this receiver draft isn't as good, and Matthew
They're
Golden.
not gonna have the money, Trev. That's the thing. We just
but
looked at
Goldman-
they're cap strapped.
Golden just goes.
draft-
Higgins,
that's draft where they gotta go.
If I had the money, I would love to bring T. Higgins to Seattle. To any team that needs
They
a wide
just-
receiver, T. Higgins is the dude.
I
going
think they
into
just
this
need. I
offseason.
don't think they need to spend big money for a receiver. I think they can get a number 2 or something for not a bad price. But Matthew Golden goes just before him to Washington. So your receiver, so the next one would be like your Trey Harris or somebody. So that's why I went. And you have Coleman coming up.
So-
I think they do sign a veteran receiver.
So yeah, we're thinking they don't re-sign Cooper then.
Correct.
You got to have someone else besides Coleman, and Cooper wasn't.
Well,
he
I
didn't
think
really. He
Curtis
was-
Samuel had a good
didn't
year
really
last
fit.
year too.
Curtis Samuel wasn't bad.
And you got
You still need somebody else, though.
Kincaid has to step up.
Both, yeah, the tight ends underperformed for
Correct.
Buffalo.
Who's next, Charlie?
Oh, dude, in the AFC, you ready for this? It was the fucking Dolphins, actually.
So underwhelming.
we already
Well,
talked about
the rest of the
soft.
AFC East was boo boo. It was the 5th quickest run to get a division title. They're the 5th team to clinch it in the 11th or 12th week of the season. They had a third of the season remaining, and they had their division locked up. That's how bad the rest of AFC East was.
Is Mike
So bad.
McDaniel on the hot seat
No.
starting the next year?
No.
I don't think he's the problem.
I mean, culture starts with the head coach, and the culture down there is one of
But
jello,
it's-
wiggly, boo.
He hasn't changed the culture.
It's a soft
but that's
as
what that
brownies.
culture has been.
I like
Forever.
soft brownies. I
do
don't
too.
like them when they're crunchy shit. Same with cookies, dude. Cookies should be soft, bro. Like, no, I don't like crunchy cookies.
I don't mind a crunchy cookie, but a brownie.
Brownie better be soft. Well,
Melt my
cake
mouth.
better be soft for sure. Anyway,
Yeah, Dolphins, dude. He doesn't win without Tua. What's that say more about him or Tua? You have
Tua,
these fast
I think.
receivers. You just let go of Mostert. Seems like your team's kind of soft all the way around, defensively and offensively. You win when it's warm. You can't win when it's cold. Your quarterback's a hit of fucking, which sucks, dude. He's a hit away of like
him
not being
and
around.
Waddle are need to be the future of that franchise because obviously Reek wants out.
Definitely need a better backup quarterback too, in case.
Oh, they've been boo boo at that
We're
position.
gonna cut Gardner. He can go down there.
Hey man, he's gonna state his case. He's gonna try. Why wouldn't he?
Offensively, what's your take?
Oh, dude, in Miami, they need offensive line bad. Their skill positions, wide receiver, H-An's a stud. You're good there. They did draft Warren as well, which is why Mostert became expendable. So the running backs are fine. So get guys to block for them. You have pass catchers. Jonnu Smith was a fucking revelation actually for this offense. He
Yes, he
did a
was.
lot more than he was expected to. So shout out to
Liked
him
him.
going down there, and it didn't matter who was the quarterback. He was the best playmaker they had outside of H-An. H-An is by far their best piece, and it's not even close on offense. So offensive line
Over
trenches.
Tyreek Hill and
This year and moving forward, yes. And Waddle was not very good this year.
He was not.
He has the potential to be a top 10 wide receiver. The kid is really fucking good, but
that
he
draft
was
class.
bad this year.
Think about that draft
He
class
was bad
though,
this
with
year.
Waddle, and then you have what's his name, Judy, that was in that class, and then what's his face got
Are
arrested.
you just talking about just Alabama receivers?
No, that draft class was
Devontae
no,
Smith?
yeah. The only one coming out, the only one in that draft class that's any good was the Cowboys CD. Remember, you had all those receivers go right around that range. CD's the
always
only
do.
one. Yep.
Well, no, Waddle's a stud. He is. He just.
But Waddle and Judy were supposed to be in there. Both kind of like
Waddle's significantly better than Jerry Judy.
Judy
as
had
it were.
a year. Though.
The end of his year was nasty when he finally got traded and got to play. Which is funny because the Broncos actually went to the playoffs and the Browns did diddly do, but he did better on the Browns than he ever did with the Broncos.
That defense, I mean, it's kind of hard to judge because they had some of the injuries to their biggest pass rushers, and that really hurt them.
And they lost Wilkins to the Raiders, who ended up getting hurt.
Yeah, so I mean, defensive line is probably what they need, probably the most. But at every stage of the defense, the front, middle, and back end could use a little help.
I have him taking Starks, Malachi Starks out of Georgia, to just solidify
For safety
that
off the board?
Yep, and to solidify the back end for years to come, where he can come up and be in the slot. But then when he can cover in the slot, you know what that does? You have that blindside blitz sometimes too coming out of that position because he's a great blitzer from a safety position, but he can cover. So it's not like, oh, I know why he's coming up. He's coming up to get me. He could be coming up to cover. He's good at covering, and
His makeup time.
yeah, he's good. He's legit.
Having a safety like that is so like it. When
It's
we look at
game-changing.
when we look at the NFL from the outside in, it's so funny because some of the positions they get devalued when
Safety,
you have
linebacker.
guard, center, which is insane to say because the middle of the line should be like your fortress, right? And
Where did Tom Brady
sometimes
struggle the most? When the pressure came up
Of
the
the
middle.
gut,
The greatest
right up the
quarterback
gut,
of
yeah,
all time.
sure. How did
Peyton
we-
Manning
yeah.
struggled.
how
Pressure
could you
came
not?
right
Because
up the
the
middle.
instant it's right because you don't want to have to move. Quarterbacks don't want to move left or right if they don't have to. They want to drop back and sling.
Step up, step
yes,
up, step up,
exactly.
and come in the pocket.
Yeah. So I mean, The AFC East in general needs a whole lot of help outside of Buffalo, dude.
I even think Buffalo's roster needs help too.
They do. But moving further down, dude, we're going further into the depths of the AFC East.
This team is fucked.
Yeah, no, we have a couple of teams. Jets. Sorry, the Jets.
Jets. We suck.
Yeah, they
just in the season.
Jets.
Dude, they got holes all over the joint. And dude, when they fired Saleh, they should have fired the whole offensive staff and not fired Saleh because their defense got way worse after Saleh went.
Congratulations.
Saleh was not the problem there.
Congratulations, Green Bay, on not letting Aaron ruin your whole team. He only ruined part of it. They are going to be fine moving forward because they moved on with LaFleur and Love, and they got out of that market when they needed to.
When we talk about them, dude.
Rodgers went to the Jets, made a bunch of demands, gave no payments on the back end, and then now they just cut it. Like, the Jets are taking the massive L right here. There is no way to spin it otherwise. Devontae is aging. They rebuilt that whole roster. You have Bryce Young. I'm sorry, not Bryce Young. Breece Hall. Yeah, Breece Hall. And Garrett Wilson.
Well, and they got the running back.
Those guys are studs.
Wisconsin had a really good year too.
Ball?
No, not Ball.
You thinking Monty Ball? No. That's a throwback to a Wisconsin.
The kid they just took this year, he's a stud.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about,
dude, they have holes everywhere.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the zero, number 0. What was his name? He was young as shit. He was Brayson Hall.
Hall?
Was it
no,
Hall?
It wasn't another Hall. No way.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up right now. You guys keep talking.
We're gonna keep talking.
I have him taking Jalen Walker, off-ball linebacker / edge.
Brandon Allen.
Brandon, we were way off. 0.
Braylon
I know you are
Allen.
number 0. I know.
But they have 2 running backs too. But there's not the quarterback that's going to be there at 7.
No.
I have him taking best player on board, Jalen Walker.
Well, dude,
and he's going to be able to run your defense forever. And you have the defensive coach.
Remember homeboy from Florida State that they low key took?
Jordan Travis. Yeah, I don't know.
Come on now.
I mean, he might get the start.
He might get the start,
because
but I don't know.
you don't
Tyrod
have
Taylor,
nobody
or
else.
you got to swing for a low key. You can't, because you're gonna have contracts coming up too here with Sauce and Garrett Wilson.
The Jets got pieces.
Hendon
It's
Hooker
just a
do.
mess.
It is.
Hendon
Correct.
Hooker sneaky because they took also the offensive coordinator. I think was the quarterback coach for Detroit.
Because Aaron Glenn went right.
So
right.
Hendon Hooker sneaky option. Also, I think that maybe is another Kirk Cousins.
Well, yeah, because with Ben Johnson going to Chicago, he's not going to want to go to Chicago.
Whoever brings in
your
Kirk,
backup,
though, you got to bring him in as a backup. Bring him
Kirk
in to compete.
Why
I don't
can't
see it.
Browns or Jets?
Why can't Kirk O'Shea?
No, Browns don't have any money. The Browns are getting a free agent quarterback.
Why can't Kirk O'Shea?
Kirk Cousins going to be getting paid by the Falcons.
If Kirk Cousins wants to make chump change, he can go to the Browns, but he can make more somewhere else.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't
disagree
with the
with.
Jets.
He could go to the Jets and be a starter.
He could.
He could. Maybe QB1 without a
be.
question.
Jets or Browns. That's what I'm calling. Remember, Kevin Stefanski was his offensive coordinator for
in
the Vikings.
Minnesota. That is correct.
Dude, there's
True.
a connection there. And
correct.
if it happens to be
That's
the Russell
actually
Wilson
good.
deal,
Bad.
if it has to be a Russell Wilson type deal,
Connection.
dude, Browns, him and Kevin Stefanski.
Well, because he'd still be sweeping up from the Falcons because they got to cut him. He's still got guaranteed monies for this next year.
Downey GM playing the role, brother. Rolling out.
Here's the
throw it out
phone
there
call.
for you,
Hello,
brother.
this is Zach Downey, GM for the Raiders. Been doing this for years now.
But yeah, I have them taking the Jets. Yeah.
Yep.
I have him taking just Jalen Walker, best player on board. You're setting your defense up to. That's a linebacker that takes. He's the up and comer because the one guy's getting old.
Mosley.
Yeah, Mosley, right?
CJ Mosley.
Yeah, he's great, but he hasn't been healthy.
Yeah,
He's
and then
old.
Jalen Walker also look what he did off the edge this year, so he can play both positions. So that's what I have him going. Usually we wait to do our team.
No, wait, we still have the depths. The depths of
New
the
England
AFC East.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Who fired their head coach, who are bringing in Mike
Good
Vrabel.
hire.
On offense, man, running back, bad. Ramondre Stevenson, when he's healthy, was good, but they signed Antonio Gibson, who did a whole lot of nothing this year, really. They need a wide receiver bad too.
I'm taking Travis Hunter to do that.
They were in a multitude of different.
Think he's the pick
Demario
if he's
Douglas
on the
is
board.
okay. Jalen Polk, I want to give him some love because he's a Husky, but he's not a true number one just yet. So
I need to actually give Charlie a little bit of credit. So I've been pushing, which Travis Hunter is doing the combine as a CB.
Correct.
But I did was thinking about it, and I got to give Charlie credit for saying going wide receiver. He did win the Fled Blitnikoff Award. He could change.
A lot of
he. I know. I got to give Charlie a little credit on that. I think receiver for the Patriots is where, if he gets to go there, that would be like the position of need more over the corner.
For sure.
If he could build with Drake and then just
'Cause
lock
Drake did
that
look
in,
good.
he's got a good ball.
That
he
makes
can throw a rock.
That makes a lot of sense.
And because you don't have that elite tackle at 4, right? Like you reach for Campbell, or do you take this Travis Hunter who could do all this stuff? That's the question you're going to be asking, because it's either a dual Carter or Travis Hunter.
I think they're a trade back candidate too if one of those quarterbacks fall.
I think it's the Raiders that have the Tom Brady, Mike Vrabel connection. If Shador is there at 4, I would not be surprised the Raiders traded up for 4 if we don't sign Sammy. All right, do we want to? What about defensively, T-Man? I know we're talking a lot of offense with the Patriots.
Gonzalez.
I mean, of course, if
stud.
Abdul Carter's on the board,
Told you he was gonna be.
he's the pick. I feel like I don't think you trade
you
back
don't have
if
a
he's on
pass
the
rush.
board.
You don't have a pass
I have
rush
a
in
dual
New
Carter
England.
going number 1 with the Titans.
I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And if he's somewhere there at
Dude, he's
4,
so
though,
elite.
like,
Oh,
how
he's-
would you not make that
how
pick?
do you not make that pick, dude? He's so elite. He's so elite.
I mean, the only thing that would be crazy is if him and Travis Hunter were on the board, because then Hunter provides you both that corner
Because
and wide receiver.
then are you thinking as Vrabel, fuck, dude, I have Christian Gonzalez on one side, and now I put Hunter on the other side, so I know I'm not getting the receiver side other than maybe here and there, but now I have 2 lockdown fucking corners, so
Yeah.
now my defense is that much more elite. So that's the other reason too. Is, as the Patriots, you have 2 elite corners. That's hard
You're
to play
sitting
against.
pretty though. Either regardless
Correct.
as for where your pick is in
Unless something crazy happens and and then Abdul and Travis go 1 and 2, you got to go McMillan at that point, I think, to try to give that.
I would say you
back first
trade
if you
out because
can.
the quarterbacks are
well,
going
then
to
you
want
would
to
be
go
trading
hot
out because
after
the Raiders
that.
would be coming up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Absolutely. Because,
Or even the Jets. The Jets
Well,
have
whatever
nothing back,
you're
too.
going to listen to, whoever's going to throw the biggest bag at you is what you listen for, and you can only
Excuse me.
you still only want to move down like 3 picks, right? Like you don't
Yeah.
want to. You're not
Then
losing super.
Because then
super
say you
value.
do trade the Raiders, right? Then you go to 6.
Right.
Then if you take
From 3 to 6.
then you take the Campbell kid out of
You're
LSU,
still looking
and
at
it looks like a nice pick, and you got something else, right?
2 out of your first 3 prospects are still there amongst your trade back, right? Like that's a fucking
almost
great
100%.
move. Yeah, almost
Almost
right? You could
100%.
still get screwed, but that's a good gamble,
Right, but
And
then-
you just picked up probably another number 1 in doing
and
that.
taking the tackle, you're not getting
I wouldn't
shit
be
talked
against
the
that
next
at
day.
all.
You don't get the bad press the next day about
trenches are always a good bet.
taking him too
Always.
early, So there's always that.
Invest
too.
in the trenches. Fandom.
So fandom, we're gonna do a little different this year. Usually we wait to talk about our teams when we do division, but since this is the first time we're breaking down teams, we might as well get off our chest now. I know there's a lot to get off. I got a lot that I need to throw up into the mic. I bet everybody else does too. Who wants to go? I'll go first since I'm the worst. Obviously, it's a big down for me because I expected a lot more.
You did put them in the playoffs.
I think the coaching was. I don't think Antonio Pierce was a very good coach this year, which surprised me because I thought he did a good job in the back half of the year.
We all kind of just wanted to see that work, just because you like when you see juice with the team, and it just didn't carry. It was the one and done. It was the spark.
And then I know the defense got beat up early. You lost Wilkins week 4. You lost Kuntz week 1. Jack Jones ended up being just kind of part of the hype as well at corner. He played like shit. He couldn't tackle a fucking little kid running by him probably.
Not no little kid.
But
nothing.
And I also think the starting of Gardner Minshew was an absolute awful decision. It was an awful decision to sign him. It was.
I don't think it was an awful decision to sign
that
him.
much
I
money.
just think
The contract he got was.
it was only
huge.
2 years, like 15. Or like 2 years, 20. It's not that, bro. In relation to what, 85 million plus for dead Russell Wilson in Denver.
Well, we didn't
Now
make
they
that
turned
deal.
it around, but I'm just saying, like,
But yeah, so I just a very disappointing season altogether. I'm glad they cleaned house. I'm on the up and up with what's going on the coaching staff. I love it. Patrick Graham coming back. I like the Chip Kelly signing. I like the Pete signing, but now we're all. But now we're in that 4 to 5 year
College powerhouse,
range.
baby.
We're in that 4 to 5 year range, which makes me that's the one worry is that we're not trying to do it slow. It's got to be a fast. So there could be some misses because we got a lot of cap money. Second most, I hope. My one question to you guys is
just one.
this one right now is who is a better quarterback, Sam Darnold or Shedeur Sanders? And then if you don't sign, what happens if you sign Sam, then Shedeur falls you? Do you take him or do you let it pass because you got Sam? It's kind of a tricky situation there because it looks like maybe he could fall, but it also why pass up on Sam if Chip can do offensive scheme Sam like with Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers.
He could.
You're gonna get a running back, right?
No.
Like you have 2 Ohio State running backs coming out that are elite.
I think Chip and Sam would figure each other out pretty quickly. I think
That's
that he fits
not
that
a bad
scheme,
match.
that West Coast, that quick deliver, turn and deliver. That's what Sam does best.
And I think Chip and Pete would be a really good influence on Sam. With the USC ties. So it all just starts to line up with the Sam Darnold stuff. I like him championing it.
Pete's a motivator of men, dude. Like that locker room,
and he's
I
already
don't know how you can't support that dude.
And the defense with Patrick Graham coming back, if healthy, you got to make a couple signings. You got to get Morig. You got to get Spillane back. I wouldn't mind Kuntz. Maybe he's the one franchise tag you use. And then obviously my first pick. There's going to be guys. There's going to be Graham. There's going to be McMillan. There's going to be Will Johnson. You are going to have dudes to take at 6, so I'm excited about that. My mock, I took McMillan, thinking that we're signing Sam.
Wide receiver out of Arizona.
Right? Thinking we're signing Sam because now you got McMillan, you got Bowers, and then you got Jacoby Myers. Dude, you have that's 3 good pass catchers.
Now you work on a running back, brother. I know Zamir White wasn't really much. Alexander Madison was fair, but not great.
I've been peeking on Murray Hampton in the second round, and then you also have 2 Ohio State running backs, maybe the third round with the with Cheap Kelly
running back.
But he had both. And he already had both.
They would very much enjoy that.
So I'm on the up and up right now.
Okay.
But I'm glass is more than half full.
I love that.
I'm on the up and up. I'm excited.
Okay.
But we fucking sucked dick last year, and I'm not excited about that shit. So.
Well, no, you put them in the offs, and they didn't get close.
I'm gonna keep on doing it, brother.
That's how we live on this pod. That's why our last section is always called fandom.
And Max Crosby is my boy, and I think that
guy,
dude, he's so elite. I can't wait for this off season with the money. Maybe we can find. Dude, maybe we are the dudes that trade for Myles Garrett. We have the cash to pay for it right now.
You could. No, there's many ways to go about this.
He said he wanted to go to a contender.
Ooh, and a lot of it, honestly,
Packers,
Z
Bills,
has to do
Commanders.
what? As far as what is in front of you is Mahomes. Is now potentially Bo Nix, is Justin Herbert. Like, the AFC West is fucking nasty,
and those
dude.
coaches.
Yeah, exactly.
Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Harbaugh. And
Carroll.
Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's stacked.
That's why I think Sam's the way to go, man. I really do, and I think that he'd be good in our system.
Just keep him upright.
Tommy's there.
That's what it is. And if Chip Kelly's coaching the offense, it's 1, 2, 3 dish.
We need
West Coast.
We're gonna cut James. Powers gonna move over to guard.
Okay.
And then we're gonna maybe get another guard, dude. I wouldn't mind paying Nate Smith from the Chiefs. Come on, brother.
Come on, brother.
That
brother, taking a little bit of that dark
Protect
side.
Sammy, dude. Protect Sammy, brother.
All right, come on, Niner fan.
I really want DJ Reed. Sorry, I really want DJ Reed as my corner. He
is
my
he a free
almost
agent?
Yes, he's
Yes.
almost my number 1 signing right now in free agency. I don't want the receivers.
He had a
I'd rather draft
resurgence. He had a
McMillan.
resurgence with Seattle, and I wanted to re-sign him.
I don't want
I
Goodwin.
wanted to re-sign him. Then he went to the Niners again.
I don't want Goodwin or T. Higgins. I'd rather just draft.
Or not the
McMillan.
Niners. Where did DJ Reed? Went to the Jets. The Jets. I'm sorry,
dude. That's
he
what I
went
want.
Niners, Seahawks, Jets.
He's my
That's right.
number 1 corner right now.
No, he continued to ball on the opposite side of Sauce, and that's shit.
He's my number 1 dude. Who's next? Trev, Chet.
Yeah.
Smoking cigars.
Technically, I finished in front of you.
Oh yeah, so Trav, you go next.
All right.
Losers first.
Losers first.
And it's been reported a lot that the Niners are losers this season because of the injuries they've had. But there was misses on the defensive line that really hurt the team. Hargrave was not the player that we brought him in to be. Either was Floyd.
He's a cut candidate, right?
Yes, he's gone. He's not going to be on the team. Floyd, I mean, I'd love him as a trade piece. He's a situational player.
Correct.
Like, it wouldn't be bad to bring in a rookie to play most of the snaps and then put him in situations if we're going to keep him on the team. But hasn't been great there either. But worst of all was the defense. This was one of the worst defenses the Niners have seen in years. Sorensen was not it as far as play calling goes.
Elevating people through the ranks does not work.
Yeah, it was a thumbs down for me. I expected more out of my team, obviously. But that's why I'm excited for this new season. We've spent money for coaching.
Robert Saleh.
We brought back Saleh.
Elite.
We brought in his special teams coordinator, Boyer, which we haven't had a really good special team in quite a while either. So that's been kind of a mess as well.
Tell me about it, bro.
It sounds like we're not going to re-sign Greenlaw as much as I'd love to do that because as far as our free agents go, he would be the top free agent re-sign.
Dude, the perfect pick for you guys would be Jalen Walker, but he's not going to fall. Like, that would be such an elite pick for you to play next to fucking Fred Warner. That'd be so huge. That'd turn that defense, like... I don't think he's falling,
I think
you
there's
guys.
More options than him.
I know you love your Nick.
But I think we get back to the basics. When we had Saleh and Shanahan early on, we addressed the defensive line. We're drafting players in the middle of that defense, and I think that's probably where we're going to lean this draft. And that definitely, I think, is the top position to need, both tackle and end. Offensive line at all three positions. Probably center and guard over tackle, but tackle with Williams being his age is a concern as well.
I have you taking Banks to tackle that maybe could play guard for a year or two before he takes over at the tackle position.
A lot of people do. I think
Nolan's too. I think that's more. If you took him there, it'd be a great pick for your need. But I think it's a reach for his.
Ideally, I think the best move for the Niners with the position that they're in is if they can find a trade back partner, that would be the way to go. Because even though we have a few picks this draft, acquiring some more, I feel like this draft is rich in the early rounds, the second, third, even fourth round. You can find some really good players that you could probably plug and play.
Dude, look at what you can do is what you just talked about with the Eagles with the draft. Dude, if you hit home runs, dude, you're set for years. Years.
And yes, and Hufanga, I don't know. I feel like I have a bunch of strong safeties on the team and no free safeties. So that's another kind of position that could be of need as well.
Keep talking yourself into Nick.
All right, but yeah, that's why he'll be coming in one of my mocks, I'm sure. But anyways, yes, defensive line, offensive line are the main concerns, and then sure we can fill in a piece if we lose Greenlaw. Another piece there. It looks like we're going to lose Debo. Going to need another piece there. I'd prefer a veteran over a rookie because we already have some young receivers on the roster.
You got Pearsall and Jennings.
We drafted the Conway kid too from Virginia.
And Ayuki.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
Ayuk he's not gonna. It doesn't sound like he's gonna start the season, so he's gonna be coming.
I don't know how high I am on him anymore.
He was down pretty early in the year. He's not
kind
gonna
of a
make
lazy fuck. I mean, look at him. I mean, come on. It's just like this whole offseason so totally soured me on him.
It was a bad offseason. It soured me on him a little bit. I still like him, of course, being on my team and being a Niner fan growing up, and I still feel he has a lot to offer. But yes, obviously we still have Jennings. Pearsall's going to take a big step. We're projecting.
Chuck, you thought he was injured earlier because he disappeared for the fucking every game he fucking played in this year.
That's good. That's good. You're not wrong. He was
Dude,
not,
he was
even when he was healthy.
How many
he was
games
not
did he literally
effective.
play? Did he play 6?
6. I think it was 6.
Dude, he had like 6 catches.
Felt less.
I think he had like 14, but yeah, that's nothing to write.
$100 million, dude. You better be giving him fucking 14 catches, brother.
Both the
you
contracts
better get 14 in a year.
to him and Debo are
Debo's done.
hurt. They both hurt a lot because they're very
the
player
juice wasn't
friendly.
worth the squeeze this recent year for them. They
Yes.
took up a large cap percentage and got very
And
small returns.
I can see the outside perspective of the Niners being one of those teams that their window is closed and they start to fall back. Because of the coaching hires, it gives me some hope. Free agency and drafts are going to really play into how I feel about my team.
And this
going
Purdy contract
into this
too.
new season.
Are you
No,
gonna
no,
be
I'm good. I'm
Are
good
you
on
going to
Purdy.
be able? Are you going to be able to get him to not take the money this year? Or
I
do you
mean,
have to pay him?
ideally, he would take a Jalen Hurts type contract. That would be perfect for the Niners. I feel like we're gonna pay him though. There's this talk about bringing Kirk Cousins in is just people that just
55.
talking out of their ass.
85, Trevor.
Bringing in Aaron Rodgers, people talking out of their ass. How he's the third favorite to go to the Niners
would
is
love if he
fucking
went to your team
ridiculous.
instead of my fucking
It's
team.
so fucking stupid.
fucking
This
don't
is
want
just
that
people
guy.
talking that don't know ball.
Don't want that guy.
All right, so Seahawks guys,
Bring
1,
it.
2, 3.
I give him. I think.
I'm up. I
don't
thought
remember
they were going to be
I
a little
thought they were
down.
going to make the playoffs. 10-7 was what I thought we were going to get in with. We were the only team to win 10 games and not get into the playoffs.
I think I'm up.
I
We're
had
ahead of
them-
schedule.
I had them winning less games, but I did have.
You
them
didn't
missing
have
the
me
playoffs.
competing for for the division.
I had them second.
I had him third. So
No, I have them
You
third.
had
You're
them-
right. I
yeah,
did
you
have
did.
them third.
Because I said the Rams. I had the Rams winning on the first one we did, and then I changed it to the fucking Niners.
Yeah, what a stupid pick that was.
Should have fucking stayed.
Well,
I'll give you an up, Charlie.
long story short, yeah, no, I
Had him third.
I only give them
finished
there
second.
because we missed the playoffs, and that's man, you're supposed to be number 7, y'all. And honestly, the NFC was thickums. It was the Rams were the better team at the end of the year, and they obviously played. You know, they won their wild card game. Like the Rams are a legit team, so for them to win the NFC West this year made sense. We need to figure out the quarterback position because there's a lot of question marks with Geno. And okay, so we just hired Clint Kubiak, right?
Love the hiring in the fact that he runs the offense you should be fucking running. Play action, run the motherfucking
Yes.
ball. It's seriously, and I
outside
know we give
zone
Charlie a lot of
schemes.
shit. We give Charlie a lot of shit. That team should be a running fucking team. You have the potential with the play action with who you have at receiver to have big plays down the field in the play action game with Lockett's kind of, maybe on
He's gonna
the
be
back
a cap
end.
casualty.
I think so
He
too.
breaks my heart. No, we can't take.
But you got
30 mil.
but you have
his cap is 30
a lot.
million for Lockett.
But with,
it ain't-
but with DK and Smith and the Jigba,
Jin-
dude, you have like two.
It's
You
my
have like
motherfucker. I love Jackson.
two. You have two really good receivers and two really good running backs.
Yeah,
Like,
Charbonnet
it
and
should-
Kenneth Walker are nasty.
It should be play action. It should be shoving
Kenny
people's dog on
McIntosh, our
throat.
fucking third back, came in when Kenny was hurt and ran the 2 back very well. No, we need
Chuck's team should be
we
running
need,
ball
we
on
need, but
people's
we need
throats.
interior linemen. That's
That's
where,
why I'd be taking
where
Book.
we're the hurtest.
I'd be taking Booker
hurtest.
from Alabama.
We need an interior lineman on both sides. of
That makes a whole lot of sense.
It's
but
the perfect pick for them.
what about?
In my opinion, it's a perfect pick for them, unless there's a better guard / because I know that my guy from
You guys, I love you. I haven't gotten to
Sorry.
speak about the
Go,
Seahawks.
sorry.
I was talking about his lineman. Sorry, go Charlie.
Got distracted.
It's my part
I was
of the
gonna
fandom.
do it too.
My part of the fandom. I was silent when y'all got to talk. No, McDonald I think is the right hire. Going 10-7, being competitive. We had some juice At parts of the year, we went on a 4-game losing streak, which is never easy to come back from, and that did tank our season in the overall. When you can look back at it now as a full season, that we lost for a full month, that's really hard to make a push afterwards.
In winnable games.
Right, exactly. Oh, for sure. We let the Giants come up to Seattle and smash it without neighbors. Without neighbors. We just let them just look like a regular football team.
It's like one of those teams when you lose that game, you're like, dude, that's
it. That's the end of my season. Yeah, no,
and
literally, if we can lose that game, we can lose any fucking game. That's how you feel after that. Like, you're like, what makes me have faith in beating anybody if New York, who's whittled down to nothing, who is already the 30 or 31st worst team going into the season? Oh, man, yeah. But that's one game. We did bounce back. We made a push for our division. I like Gino. And I think that this new scheme that's coming into play will benefit him. He ended with the 4th most throwing yards this year. That's not our offense.
How many picks in the red zone, too? That's
don't talk to me about that. That's 5. There's 5 of those.
What's your feeling on? Are you?
Some quarterbacks don't throw 5 in a season.
Are you? If you took Dart at, what are you at? 19?
18.
18. If you took Dart at 18, does that make it tingle? Are you?
Big time tingle. Okay. But only if you have the ability to shape him to the true NFL quarterback that you think you can. Now, we did replace Ryan Grubb with Clint Kubiak. Clint Kubiak. Gary is the dad. The
Kubiaks.
Well, just because it's bloodlines, it's proven system, it's things that, especially in Seattle, worked for us. Like, John Schneider is probably like, hey, I was the most successful when the team was ran this way, so let's try to get back to that. Now, I'm not saying anybody is, Pete Carroll in the sense of, like, that guy had an insane defense. The Legion of Boom is an all-time fucking defense. So Mike McDonald has like a legacy to live up to I would say, as well.
I really think your defensive line could be real elite, though.
They can be.
With the who you have up front.
So Draymond,
it's kind of that linebacker position.
So, but here's the whole thing. So Draymond is going to be a cap casualty probably this year even, because he's kind of underwhelmed on his contract. I like him as a player, but he's been rotational when we paid him starter money. That's really tough. Byron Murphy needs to step up. This will be number two for him. Leonard Williams played at an all-pro level, got Pro Bowl, but didn't get all-pro. He was nasty, but now he's getting older. He will be 31, so that for an interior lineman, that's a lot to ask. I love Boye Mafe, and I love Derek Hall. I think those are the two guys you got to really push forward on that defensive line, because we're probably going to also lose Jaron Reed. He's getting older.
You really need Hall because he's a second round draft pick.
Hall and Mafe, if they step the fuck up, we will be nasty on the defensive line with Leonard and Murphy. I know we're dripping with names. And I think now a year to congeal, right, with those core pieces.
Well, and his system and his
right, exactly. The culture's been kind of set. We went 10-7. Like, there is optimism. There has to be optimism in that locker room. Like, we're not shit. We know we're not trash. Like, we're not far off from really taking a bite of the apple, y'all.
What's your cap room?
We're terrible. We're minus 13. Right, we were right behind the Bills.
So that's, you can't sign the Nate. That's what I'm saying. That guard, signing that guard would be fucking huge.
But that's why we dump Lockett. I don't know why we haven't yet, and it breaks my heart to say this, but we can't take on 30. We only eat 6, but we save 30. Like, we need to do that. Draymond Jones is the other one that would save us like an insane amount of money.
What about Love?
Love Julian Love. Are you kidding me? No.
Has he been healthy?
Oh my God. Okay. He has been the anchor of that defense. Like,
I couldn't remember if he's
he's the guy. Him and Spoon and Tyreek, if Reek Woolen can get back to, like, he had a downish kind of year. Kobe Bryant stepped the fuck up. I'm not worried about my secondary simply because McDonald that's his expertise. So. No, his expertise is Trey Brown is a great player. Like, my secondary room is stacked. We need linebackers. Now we drafted.
That's where I would say.
We drafted Tyrese Knight out of UTEP last year, and he played fucking great as a rookie. We re-signed, or we haven't re-signed. That's my number one. Okay, Seattle, listen to me. Pick up the phone. This is Chuck Roscoe. This is GM Chuck Roscoe. Re-sign Ernest Jones. He made that defense click. He's the only reason why we won a bunch of games.
Jahad Campbell's still on the board at that point. Would you be happy with that middle linebacker there, or would you be more happy with like the guard /
It depends on the contract. If we can get Ernest Jones, we're not drafting a middle linebacker.
So so this talk with the draft stuff kind of like difficult until the free agency stuff,
right? No, correct.
Because once free agency hits, you're like it could change your board completely.
Which is why pre-free agency mock drafts are kind of schmack because you can't.
What's Ernest Jones going to cost you if you want to
sign
him with your cap situation?
I don't care.
I just didn't know what if you read anything or what.
Well, no, he deserves 20. He deserves the way he commanded that defense instantly. Wear the green. No, this is how McDonald's defense is run, dude.
That's why I want
Roquan Smith. Dude. Like it's this, Mike McDonald. Don't go away from what you know works.
One pick away from having Roquan.
So
fucking Bears.
If we have to, if we have to make some cuts at some legacy positions, I love Tyler Lockett. He is an all-time. Yeah, he's done in Seattle.
I've read a lot of articles that he's the cap casualty.
He has to be, unless he's really willing to take an insane step back. It's going to be like more than half of his salary. He'd have to give up.
Reconstruct with us or sign a lower contract somewhere else.
You can have DK. You have DK and
Jackson
Smith,
and Bobo has stepped up, and we still have Derek Young, and now there's some guys there that we're going to work at wide receiver. Yes,
The third receiver.
You have to save the money. I don't know why we haven't done it. I love Tyler Lockett as a Seahawk fan through and through. K-State, I remember.
Is that a jersey you would wear?
Oh, absolutely. Because it won't come to an. It's not. He didn't want out. He did not sign any contracts. We just weren't going to give him. We're not going to give him one.
No.
We have to cut him. And so unfortunately, organizationally, it has nothing. Like Lockett is not the bad guy here. He signed the contract when he was due that money, and then it aged, right? So that's how it goes. But if he's not done playing, then let him go to another team.
I am so fucking stoked for free agency.
I know, yeah. There's a lot coming up, y'all. So overall, as a Seahawk fan, I'm very optimistic as well because we are relatively young. We just got to get offensive line, and we have to figure out long-term quarterback. I'm not mad if Geno comes back. If we throw him another 2-year deal kind of thing and kick the money down the road, that's not the worst outcome for the Seahawks. Like, he's got to clean up the red zone picks big time. But
I think, and I've said it quite a bit now, I think that you guys have drafted amazingly well.
Correct.
I know the Lucas kid from
Abe Lucas, Washington State. Yeah.
Knee's not really great. Right. Woolen's been one of my biggest. Him and the Kobe Bryant draft, I thought that you guys murdered it. So I think you guys done really good drafting.
Murder wasn't
what you guys have taken. You need these
Kenny
players.
Walker,
you need these
Zach
players.
Charbonnet,
Right.
Yeah, Derek Hallboy and Mafe,
on the
Spoon,
field and start
Jackson Smith and Jigba. No,
because they're legit players.
Exactly. No, and I think this is where I'm excited. Just clean up the red zone turnovers.
March 10th through 12th
is pre-contract.
March 10th is when it kind of like you do the pre-contract shit.
Pre-tampering or whatever the fuck they call
March 12th is the day that shit goes down.
Into the February.
Sammy Darnold, silver and black, brother. Woo!
Into the month, beginning of March is the combine too. So
I know that's where I think I got to redo my brackets. We'll get more into the draft stuff at more times. I'm stoked, dude. I'm fucking stoked. I'm stoked. Coaching staff, I know I'm stoked where we're at in the draft. Sammy Darnold signs that silver and black deal. I'm be hella stoked.
Excellent. We'll come find out how stoked we are in Pod 85. All right?
Check out the beers we had today too.
They were
great. Delicious.
X, Instagram, Spotify, Buzzsprout, YouTubes, all the fun stuff. We'll see you guys soon.
Shit list.